Hello, and welcome to Mind Your Head, a space for people to share their stories, talk openly and honestly about their own mental health challenges, and to give some listeners some comfort in knowing you're not alone. This episode is brought to you by TLC Recovery Centre on the Sunshine Coast. Head to TLC Sunshine Coast, use the code TLC15MYH to receive 15% off and experience it for yourself. Hayley, welcome to Mind Your Head. I really appreciate you coming on today. Very grateful to be able to sit here and chat to you. I know that there's a lot of people sort of listening and tuning in that know you from different chapters of your life.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said to me in a message yesterday that although there were such big chapters in your life, they only make up such a small portion of your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do want to touch on, say, you know, this is where I sort of know you from, was Married at First Sight. And then I'd love to touch on those two chapters, but I would also like to get to know who you are beyond all that sort of stuff as well.
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's jump in.
First of all, how are you going? I'd love to know. I like to do a sort of a mental check-in and see how the mind, body and spirit are going.
You know what? I had a friend message me the other day who's going through some conflict and he's like, how are you? And I stopped. I'm trying to stop when people ask me that because you're like, yeah, good, thanks. Like, yeah, I'm sweet. Thank you. Life is good. God is great. And I actually sat in the car for a second and I'm like, I'm getting like, it's heavy, that question, because when you really think about it, like, I am good, but I feel like I'm at a point where I'm almost apprehensive that something's going to go wrong.
Why is that?
Because it's funny. And like we were just talking before about past experiences and how I've lived all my life. And I've constantly been going in this flight or fright momentum all my life. And I've never just sat in being safe. Like we spoke about that internal little kid in us before. And I actually said to my friend, I said, I'm good, but there's something in me that every now and then raises its head going, what's going to go wrong? Like, is this going to fall apart? Like, is this too good to be true? Because for a lot of my life, I have been surviving, running from one thing to another, and haven't really felt safe in just sitting. So I'm good. I'm so good, but I'm
It's hard to turn that off. Like it's hard to be physically in a good spot, but mentally and emotionally, it's hard to distinguish. All right, well, physically I'm in a good spot. I feel safe, but mentally I'm still carrying those old wounds. That like it's great, but I feel like something's going to go wrong because there's always something's always gone wrong.
So I had a business that I started 2 years ago, like a retreat business. And this year, I really just sat at the end of the year thinking, like, what did I want to do this year? And I'm a builder. Like, I'm good at building things. I'm good at filling voids and silences. And I really felt like the Lord, and I really felt like I had peace with what came to my head and my heart, that I just need to sit for this year and sit in knowing that I'm safe. And I'm like, and that's petrifying.
Is it? Yeah.
It's petrifying because I just haven't done enough sitting all my life.
Yeah.
And there's so much growth in doing what's uncomfortable, obviously. And for me, that is just sitting and knowing that I am safe. And so I am so good. I am like better than I've ever been. But I'm like, am I a little bit uncomfortable?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. It seems like you're a little bit uncomfortable in that piece.
Yeah, like I have peace, like I've got peace, but then my flesh comes into play and like those old wounds come up and like, oh my gosh, Hayley, like what's going on? Like, like this internalness that I have like used as my blueprint all my life starts coming up, starts manifesting. And I'm like, help. And then I'm like, hang on, this is so the discussion that we had off air before, because like it comes up and I'm like, you are safe. And like I go back to scripture, obviously, because I'm Christian, and there's a scripture that says, never will I forsake you, never will I leave you. And another one that says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and plans to give you a future. So when I get those anxieties come up and I'm like, oh my gosh, help. And I know it's not true, right? I know it's not true. And I believe now it's like a lie of the enemy, right? So you've got God and you've got the devil. You've got good, you've got bad, you've got positive, you've got negativity, right? So I believe that it's a lie. It's a lie that you have bought into somewhere along the lines, also with experience, because we're products of lived experience. And it's like about breaking that lie then and there. So that's what I've been focusing on. And it's uncomfortable.
It is. And you got to push through it too.
Oh, 100%.
And there's no easy ways to go around it either. It's like you can't
go around it.
You can't go around it.
You got to go through it. You can't go under it.
You can't wish it wasn't there because like you need it there. So you got something to work on. And when that comes up, you're like, oh, that's like, I've got to work on that now.
100%.
And the more you push through it, like the easier it's going to become later down the track. And I know the future Hayley is going to love you for going through it now and dealing with it now, because 10 years from now, it's going to be a little bit easier.
100%. Yeah. And that's it. And that's, I feel like every version of myself that I've been, and I suppose you yourself, is that pushing through that is what's made you be the next version of yourself. So.
Yeah. I'd love to get to know the little Hayley.
Yeah.
What was she like? Where did you grow up? What was the household family like? What was love like growing up?
I think there was a lack of love.
Do you think?
Yeah. I don't think I know.
Yeah.
I know. I actually really find love, I want to use the word hard, but I don't find it hard to love others because I'm very empathetic. Like I love on everyone and anyone. It's probably like a fault almost as well.
Too much love can never be a fault, I don't think.
I love on people hard.
Yeah.
My family dynamics were tumultuous, I'd say. Grew up in Frankston on the Mornington Peninsula. I say the Mornington Peninsula because it sounds better, but it was like a low socioeconomic area.
Say how it is. Yeah.
In the burbs.
Yeah.
I grew up in the burbs, and Dad was a truck driver, Mum a daycare teacher. Mum battled with mental health. Dad wasn't home a lot. Dad would come home. He'd be tired from driving interstate. Mum and Dad's relationship was just not ideal. There's a lot of violence in my home. That in turn in later years made me violent as a person, physically violent. My family separated when I was 12, maybe 11 years of age. I blamed my mum a lot for our family breakdown, but didn't really understand the dynamics as a kid.
Why did you blame your mum more?
Because I just thought she could have done better to keep Dad around.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like as kids, and I've seen this and recognized this in my friends' relationships that have now separated with their kids, is that the parent that's around the most likely doesn't get the love and the appreciation from the kids as opposed to the parent that comes in and splashes and splurges because it's just a given that you mum and that you put the roof over the head. So I was just like, I was so angry at her and I was just like, you know, you could, and she was just doing the best that she could do, honestly. Have a younger sister, Lauren. We were close when we were little, but I haven't actually like spoken about this before on with anyone. So, my violence broke up our home when my mum was a single parent. I got kicked out of home when I was 17. My mum basically said to me that if I get back on a plane to come back from schoolies, this is fast forward so many years, but so many things happened from when I was a kid to a teenager. I wasn't dealing. There was a lack of love. Like I said, I'd seen a lot of violence when I was a kid as well. Mum crying on the phone to AGL saying like, I have like $2 in my wallet. Like I can't, you know, debt collectors calling and just like a single mum struggles really bad. So all of that happened. And then I started using drugs when I was 15, 14, started smoking pot That really soon escalated into pills, bickies, speed, and whatnot. And my mum knew what I was doing, but didn't know how to handle me. I was bigger than her as well, physically, like bigger than her, and I was out of control. Um, and I really feel like now looking back at my life, it was from that lack of love, or perhaps I was getting love, but not how I needed.
That was my next question. It was, what did you need that you didn't get growing up?
Yeah, I think I
So,
need, I never, and I don't feel like looking back at it now that I was ever really heard. People can say that they hear you, but they don't hear your heart, you know, and felt like I just needed to be sat with. But because mum, like she was busting her balls, honestly, like single mum, taking two kids to work with her at 5 a.m. You know, she was a kindergarten teacher, putting us in the kindergarten. Her employer would let us come with her just so she could have a job, you know. And then she was just doing the best that she could. So time, like that kind of time was rare. And then I was having behavioural issues and, you know, on the drugs and that kind of thing. And then I got kicked out of home, obviously, at 17. And that was another level of spiraling then.
How bad did it get for you during that period of your time of life?
From my adolescence, from getting kicked out of home. Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah.
I went to a quite affluent high school down in Melbourne. I went to an all-girls school, and then my parents broke up and everything changed because the money was gone in our family. I wouldn't say we were wealthy, but as a dynamic, my dad worked really hard to give us what we needed. Like we didn't have all the extras, but we definitely had everything that he wanted to give us. But that came like to a breaking point. When I got kicked out of home, I was up here in Queensland and I was like, oh, well, I didn't think my mum was serious. And I had like a few $100s left in my wallet from schoolies. I'd saved up $1,000 to come to schoolies with. And I stayed at a caravan park in Tweed. And Karen Ridderford, this girl from my high school, her mum saw on Facebook or something that might have been MSN or something back then.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
A stone and tablet.
Most of our listeners probably don't even know what MSN is.
A carrier pigeon. Smoke signals. Saw that I was stuck up here. So her family paid for a ticket for me to come home because mum just was like, nah, she'd found drugs in my drawer when I was at schoolies. And I came home and then I had no concept of like what a shared house was, but it was my only option because I couldn't stay with this girl's family, but they were willing to help me. They had a good heart. So I moved into a shared house in Frankston and I suppose as a young girl, that was super eye-opening. So I lived in 27 houses or something, between 17 to maybe like 20 to 24 years of age. I moved.
Really?
Yeah.
Space of what, 5-6 years?
Yeah, a lot. So the first house that I moved into was a shared house and this wealthy lady had a house and then basically had put like chip rock up in between rooms to make more rooms within the house and then was like subletting them. Not very long after I moved in, I woke up in the morning and there were like syringes in the bathroom, like in the house itself. So that stuff was happening. There were huge fights in the houses, like food was getting stolen. And at this stage, I was working at Gloria Jeans. So I had some kind of income, you know, as a young girl, not a lot. But then I was still hanging out with the same people from a different high school. And then I started using recreational like speed around that time. And I suppose the moving around a lot at the start initially was trying to find somewhere safe. But for $200 a week as a 17-year-old girl, there's nothing really safe that you're going to find. And so I kept moving around a lot. it was hard. It was really, really hard. I think it's had a huge impact on me as well, because no like young girl should ever have to feel or do that, or have to support themselves that so early on, like in age as well. How bad did it spiral? This is like a long-winded answer to
That's all right, yeah.
to your question. I got to the point where I was having to steal food to just survive, and I got really good at stealing because I didn't look disheveled or anything like that. It's hard to pinpoint like just how bad something got, because I think the whole situation for years was just shit house.
The shit house.
Yeah, it was crap.
What did the drug taking do for you? Because I remember what it did for me was it was silence the noise in my head. So my childhood was very, very different to yours, where I was in a loving, safe family.
Yeah.
Yet I was raised in a household that didn't know how to have emotional conversations and connection.
Yeah.
So what I saw my parents do would hide, and not knowing that this was how it was going to snowball onto the kids, but they would hide a lot of conflict. They would hide a lot of arguments. They would hide a lot of things just to keep us safe, just to protect us. But what we learned in that was, if you had something going on in your life,
do not speak about it.
Don't
brush
speak
it
about
under
it. Brush it off.
Yeah.
So I did not know how to put into even put into words what was going on inside my head. I couldn't emotionally regulate. I couldn't understand. I thought anger was bad. I was like hiding everything. And it wasn't until when I was about 17, 18, that 19 age, where I started taking drugs, and I still remember it was the most euphoric feeling in the world, where I just felt a release. I just felt like all this noise and chatter in my head that I couldn't unscramble, I couldn't control. It just went away for, if it was a night or a weekend or however long I decided to go with it for.
Yeah.
And I was so addicted to that feeling. Like I didn't know that you could get that feeling from not doing drugs.
Yeah.
But at that time I was just like, this is the best feeling ever. And I was hooked on it. What did taking drugs do for you? Did it give you a sense of calm or relax, or maybe just a way to escape what your current situation was like?
I feel like at the start it was fun. I feel like at the start it was fun, but I was probably lacking so much fun and so much like enjoyment, because home was so bleak that, it would have been a sense of escapism. I feel like I say this to a lot of people at the start, that the feeling that you get initially off drugs, you reach this like crossroad where it actually starts to do the opposite.
Yeah.
So you like, it's going so good, or like you use it for confidence, you use it because like, and I feel like having kind of, I'm not diagnosed, but kind of ADD like tendencies, that it kind of settled me, and I was able to do a lot. Like my capacity was huge as well, until it wasn't. Until it started actually taking away this like false sense of security that it had started giving me, to the point where like I was riddled with social anxiety. Ended up getting like really bad like agoraphobia, where I couldn't leave the house.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was super bad.
So really, really manifested into something that
horribly.
You just couldn't control.
No,
Yeah.
and I feel like the people that you hang around as well when you're on drugs as well. I was hanging around some pretty bad people and some pretty dodgy situations.
You just think to yourself, how did I wind up here? Like, how did I get here?
Choices.
Yeah. What's the relationship like with your sister now? Do you have a relationship with her?
Yeah. I want to say yes, but no.
Yeah.
No.
Still fractured.
Oh, terribly.
Yeah.
Terribly.
From your childhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We both see our lives as kids very differently. Perspectives are a strange but like wonderful thing. She sees it out of a different lens to what I see it. And it comes from, she went with my mum kind of when my parents separated and had a lot of influence from my mum. I went out by myself, but in my latter years, I have been more connected with my dad as well.
Two different sides.
Sides.
Yeah.
Lauren is a very different person. We're cut from very different cloths. I can get over things, although internally we know from the start of the conversation it comes up, but I can move forward. I think a lot of things have really weighed heavy on her, and rightfully so as well, because she did cop it and she copped it from me. So I'm a trigger for her, a very big trigger, and she's working through a lot of healing. We had a discussion probably about 4 years back, which was like our first discussion in years.
Yeah, right.
Same with my mum. In October last year was the first time we'd connected in 16 years.
Wow. How was it?
Wild.
If I can ask, how
Yeah,
did it go?
we're here.
Yeah.
It was strange.
Was it?
Yeah. It was strange, but it was healing because like I always thought if anything happened to her, what happens if I never got to tell her, like I do love her. Like I do love, like she's my mum. Like I love you. There's so much water under that bridge though. Like there's so much shit. There's so much shit under the bridge, and she's hurt. She's damaged. I'm hurt and damaged as well. Like I'm fractured, and we're both on different parts of our journey as well. And that's super interesting as well, because what I've noticed now, and even with my dad recently at Chrissy, I had dad come stay with me.
Yeah.
You don't realize how triggering your parents are until they've got to come stay with you.
Yeah, because it's funny when you move out of home and then say you go back to in your parents' house, you think about that, all of a sudden all these things start popping up like, fuck, you pissed me off.
And it's like, and they start treating you like
you're
like
the 13-year-old again, and you're just thinking like, I've been living by myself, or I've been taking care of myself.
I'm a grown ass adult.
I get my mum call me sometimes, and we'll have a chat. And she goes, make sure you put your clothes in the washing machine. And I'm thinking,
sorry, what?
So where else would I put them? And she was like, no, I'm just saying, like, if you need to wash your clothes, put them in the washing machine. And I'm like, thanks, Mum.
How old are you?
I'm 34. And I'm like, I appreciate that, Mum. But I used to get a little bit angry about it. A little bit like, do you think I'm silly? But I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. And if I had kids and they all still grown up, I still would want them to know that I care about them and want them to know I'm invested in their life. And even though it's like little things like making sure I put the washing in the washing machine that I've been doing for the last
wild.
20 years by myself, like I can understand my mum is like, my mum's a proper like hands-on mum that loves her boys, that like, even though we're all grown up and we've all got different lives, I know that if you call my mum and you go, I need something, Mum, like ask for advice or something, she would just be like, yes, like I'm needed again. So like I, later on in life now, I'm leaning into that. Whereas during my 20s, I used to get so frustrated, like you treated me like a kid. But now I welcome it. Like every time, she's
loving on you.
She's so loving on me. Yeah. And I don't have this, I got this perspective now that watching my parents grow old, and they've done so much for me that eventually, I've never even thought about this, even though it happens to everyone. My parents are going to die one day, and I don't want to live a life rejecting them or not allowing them into my life, even if they treat me like a kid. Yeah. I'd rather that and have a really good relationship with them than get frustrated every time they tell me to like leave my shoes outside or like tell me like how to wash my clothes, anything like that. I'd rather have that relationship than be, uptight or be a bit, angry at them all the time. Yeah. I'd rather like embrace it and be like, yeah, Mum's loving. She loves her kids. Like how lucky and privileged am I?
Amazing.
That I've got a mum like that, and not many people do. Why not enjoy it and why not embrace it?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's super nice. Yeah. My dad shitted me to tears when he came up.
Did he?
But I love him. I love him nonetheless. I can't remember exactly where we were going before we went off on that little tangent. But
just reconnecting with my reconnecting with your family, because it's just been I can only imagine how not toxic but how unstable the household would have been. And then even like yourself, where you can have this awareness now and recognize like, I was a little shit. Like I
was a huge part of it.
You were a huge part of it.
Yeah. And that was a byproduct of the environment that I lived in, because you can't sit under something negative and not get negative yourself. You can't sit under something positive and not.
That's how it was modeled to you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. Where did the journey take you after sort of, that 25 where we got to? Where did the journey take you after that?
Where did it take me? There's so much, but I found myself living in my hometown, dating someone that I'd known all my life. His parents were like the catalyst to me changing my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So his name's Scott. We're still really amicable. We've known each other since we were like 13 years of age. We've done everything together. We've smoked bongs together. We've been through everything together. But his mum has seen it all. And his mum, Elaine, is just a huge lover of people. And like she'd be the mum that like all the kids would go to, you know, like the cool mum, but also the mum that just like loved on all the boys in the street and that kind of thing. And so we started dating, and she knew that I was still like between houses, and there was a lot of stuff going on. I'd basically live at her house. Like it was my undefined house. Yeah. And like she'd make a plate of food for me, put it in the fridge with a bit of sticky tape on it with my name on it. And just like I was a part of their household. I know.
Good. Did that feel good to you?
Oh, amazing. Yeah. I'd never had it.
You never had it, I was going to say.
Never had it, right? So I loved it. And like wake up in the middle of the night and like a pantry was always stocked, and I loved it. So I'd never have like Tim Tams and Milo. Like
what a treat.
I know. It sounds so basic, but I'd sneak out when everyone was asleep because I'd be scared to ask her stuff, and I'd eat in the middle of the night, and then she'd wake up in the morning and there'd be like chocolate droppings like to the bedroom, and she'd be like, you know, you could just eat like during, but like I used to like do funny things in her house like that, but she'd recognize why.
Yeah. Did she know everything that was sort of
everything?
She knew.
Yeah. She knew everything.
Yeah, okay.
And me and her son, we did a lot of like ice when we were younger, and she'd just been loving with no expectations on us, just like loving hard.
No judgment or anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she knew everything, and so moved in with Scotty and his family for like 2 years, and she just kept watering like good seeds in me, and like, no, you can. And I'm like, no, but I can't. I'm this, I'm that. And she's like, no, you're not. Like, that's your experience. That's not who you are. And from there, I ended up getting into gym. Yeah. And gym was like a huge sport. I know a little bit of your story as well. Yeah. Gym and training was like such a godsend.
Really?
Yeah.
What did it do for you?
Oh, it did everything.
Did it?
Yeah, it saved my life.
Did it really?
Yeah, definitely saved my life. People speaking into my life obviously gave me direction, but showing myself physically what I was capable of broke down mental barriers, and that in turn made me stronger mentally to be able to pursue things, and it made my capacity to be able to grasp harder things even wider than what it would have been beforehand. So I started going and getting like personal training, and I remember this is when bodybuilding wasn't like every girl on the Gold Coast was doing bodybuilding.
This is before then.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. How long ago was it? It was like, I'm going to show my age now.
Yeah, how old are you?
38.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like 16 years ago, 15 years ago. And there were like bodybuilding girls in this little gym. It was a little personal training studio. And at this stage, like I'd been so depleted after years and years of drugs, I couldn't even like lift 2 kilo dumbbells, like shoulder press. I was like, oh,
you're like, this is going to be a long road. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've always had like drive, a lot of drive.
That's what I've gotten. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's exactly what I've gotten from you so far.
Oh, bless.
Is that you're so driven, even despite all the things that you've gone through as a child, and you know how unstable. I can imagine, like, you're being probably nice about it. I can imagine how bad it really, really was for you in that period of your life. But you come across so driven and motivated, and even though, like you're saying to your partner's mum there that you know, I can't do this, and she's seemed like such a good role model for you.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment where your mental health took a real deep dive? Because you come across so headstrong and you come across so driven and focused.
Yeah.
Was there ever a period where you just thought, oh, I can't keep doing this? Like,
it's funny because you can be so driven, be so motivated, but you can also suffer like momentarily through various stages of your life, right? So my mental health never really, it got bad. I think I got drug-induced psychosis at one stage. Like I don't want people to think that I went nuts, But when you don't sleep or you use a lot of drugs for ages, you are, what's the word? Delirious almost. So you're living in delirium. Your brain's not supposed to operate like that. So
How long did that last?
for like a few years. It took me a while to get
What?
a while to get over, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, when people used to like look at me funny, I would start making stories in my head about, so like over analyzing things, but to the point where those voices, your own voices inside of your head, they start becoming the story that you're living instead of what you're actually living out.
Not reality.
No.
How do you get yourself out of that?
It's hard to say when people say like, how did you quit drugs? How did you do this? Like, was there a certain point? There's always been this fire in me. I call it ticker. Like I've always had a ticker. I've always that knock down 9, get up 10.
Yeah.
I've always had a bit of dog in me.
Yeah.
I
get that.
I have. Like I've always had a bit of fight in me. And it might not have been for myself, but it was at the start to prove other people wrong. And so by doing it at the start, like I would do it to like prove other people wrong, but then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like, you know,
it's almost prove other people wrong, but also prove yourself right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I always felt like. I started doing things because people said I couldn't do them. And I'm like, don't you dare tell me I can't do that, because now I'm just going to do it to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
But by doing that, it's also proving me right that I can do these things, because my inner voice was a lot of self-doubt, a lot of criticism on myself. Like, you can't do this. What do you think you're doing that for?
Yeah.
And I'd always listen to it until someone else almost agreed with it. Yeah, you can't do that, Elliot. Ooh. And it would always light
snap you out of it.
It would snap me out of it. And it's the exact thing that I need to go and, do these things, or go, achieve these things, or just try new things. And as soon as I accomplish it, I go, oh, I actually can do that. I'm proving myself right,
Yeah, and you're building that strength in that area, and you're proving it to yourself. So, my mental health didn't get, my mental health was bad, but different to, like, say, I had a really close friend of mine who killed himself, and I never went down like that kind of path, like, but my anxiety and this, I want to say the voices, because they are like voices. It's the voice within yourself. It's not like voices speaking in, like, schizophrenic or something. But the voices that I was listening to, they ruled my life to the point where it kept me so frozen.
Yeah, what were they saying?
At various points in my life.
I've always asked my guests, what are your 3 non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life? For me, it's movement, community, and good nutrition. I've learned that what you fill your body with plays a massive role in how you feel physically and mentally. That's why I use True Protein. They're an Aussie brand doing things the right way. Clean, natural supplements with no artificial additives or fillers. Everything's made in-house in Sydney's northern beaches using the highest quality ingredients sourced from around the world. Whether it's supporting energy, improving focus, or reducing fatigue, their products genuinely help me show up better every single day. And just like Mind Your Head, they live by values I stand by. Be true, be you, and take care of your whole self. And then you got into gym, you got into training, and that was like your thing that you found that gave you peace, that gave you some sort of like motivation in life. Yeah,
so got into gym, got into training, and I just became obsessed with the discipline. And
you still are now?
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's funny because I go through seasons where it's almost like an idolization. Yeah. Like I put it as the highest point in my life. It is the highest. Oh no, God is first, but then gym.
Sorry, God.
He is like, I'm battling you, Hayley, for gym. And I'm like, oh. It's a huge part of my life, and it's something that I teach on with girls on my retreats as well, is because, like, I'm a big believer that, like I said, when you put yourself in hard situations and by doing hard things, the physical is one thing, but the mental that comes out of it is just something else.
You learn and grow so much from it. I know, like, I almost look forward to even if the hard sessions at the gym, or if you're doing any hard training session, I'm always like, fuck, I hate this. Like, why am I doing this for? But as soon as I got to remind myself.
Do you say that when you're in there?
Oh, I am the biggest whinger.
Stop it.
So I'll go in there. And I tell people.
Dragging yourself in the door.
I tell people, I go, listen, this is how I get through it. I'm a whinger, but I know when I finish, it's going to be the best thing ever. So me and my mates will go, and then he'll be like, Elliot, are you ready? I'm like, no, I'm not ready, but let's go get it done. But I know that it's just making me strong every time I do something like this. Every time I do put myself out there or face the fears. When we finish it, it's just like, what was I even scared for in the first place? Like,
Do you think it's a scared thing?
Or
it's like, what is it?
It's going to that dark place.
Yeah. That's pushing you beyond your comfort zone.
Yes, pushing me beyond my comfort zone. That has always been a theme in my life where I know a lot of people that go into that dark place, that uncomfortable place. That's easy for a lot of people. For me, I've always struggled with self-doubt. So when I push myself to discomfort, I've always, as a young fella, I've always quit. I've always turned around. I've always gone, making an excuse to bail.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, honestly, probably until I started this podcast. So I started this when I was 32.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until that when I decided to change that narrative about myself that I look back when even the career that I had playing rugby. Some would look from the outside looking in that, you had a successful time playing rugby, but internally I know deep down, and I'm comfortable to say this, that I probably gave it 80%.
Yeah.
I left so much out there purely on the fact that I didn't want to push myself to the point of being, uncomfortable. When things got scary or things got outside of my comfort zone, I'd always retreat or just play within myself. I never actually gave it 110%. And
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I don't want to regret it because, like we talked about before, like I love where I am in this life and I love the person that I am. But I sometimes wonder what could have been.
Yeah.
And I use that as motivation now that I don't want to get to 60, 70, 80 years old and not take this opportunity doing the podcast at 110%. And I don't ever want to wonder, man, I wonder if, what could have been if you just tried a little harder.
How good is that though, that you've got a big chunk of your life left to actually show yourself that?
Yes, exactly.
That you've actually learned.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't learn from that. They just continue on in what they've done.
So that pushing myself, and that obviously translates to so many things in my life where if things pop up and I feel really uncomfortable, I have to try very, very hard to face it and not figure out, give myself a little bit of wiggle room to sort of go around it.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I know you are. I know
I'm
you are.
sitting here.
Yeah, going, I can't fucking wait to do this.
I would never be able to train with you.
Yeah. But
I like walking into fire.
Yeah, I know you do.
And so I'm training for a marathon.
Are you?
At the moment,
yeah. Nice.
And I've never ran up until 2 weeks ago. Not 2 weeks ago, sorry, about 5-6 weeks ago, I'd never ran. And I'm like, I could do that. I think I'm overly confident.
Yeah, I'd probably be sick of you going, Elliot, we need to go do this. Like, I remember, I don't know, I live in Maroochydore and up on the sunny coast. Yeah.
Do you drive down here for work?
Yeah, for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Commitment.
But one day, I'm not a big runner. When I stopped playing rugby, all we did was run. And I was just like, I am sick of running. All I did was run. So I'm going to find, when I stop playing rugby, I'm going to find some sort of fitness that I actually enjoy. So I got into boxing and swimming and cycling, that sort of thing. But two of my good mates that live down here, they did the Gold Coast Marathon 2 years ago. And
did they survive?
They survived. They
awesome.
Trained for it, got a really good time. I was at the finish line watching them finish. But while I was waiting for them to finish, there was other, obviously, people finishing in between then. And I was seeing everyone like just so happy and fulfilled and like obviously on their knees and they're sweating and they're hurting and they're struggling, but they're just so happy that they finished. And I remember standing there just looking at everyone so happy and stuff going, fuck, what have I done? Like, what have I actually pushed myself after playing rugby? And then you don't have the adrenaline and the competition and all this sort of stuff. I thought I needed a break from it. But really, I actually didn't. I thrive off that pressure and that having a goal and setting yourself towards something. And I remember like 6 months after finishing footy and I just thought, man, what have I achieved? Like I haven't achieved anything. Like I've just sort of had a break from footy thinking that's what I needed, but I need to have a goal to set. And I've seen everyone run and everyone knows that I don't like running. So I think the furthest I ran, and we did a run club, I think I did like 5Ks or something, and I was whinging about it. And And so one morning I was like, this is the stage where I wanted to change that narrative about myself. I wanted to lean into the things that I hate and understand, like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can't do it, or just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean you still can't do it. So I decided to get up at 3 a.m. and run from Maroochydore to Noosa and back, which is about 75 Ks.
Wow.
No training, nothing.
Just do it.
Just got up,
Get it done.
joggers on, shorts on, no shirt, and decided just to run.
Yeah.
And I was telling, I was on the run and I was telling people, and they were like, you did what? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, and this is me being so naive about running too.
Yeah.
I forgot how far it is.
Yeah.
I was like, man, and all my running mates were like, what are you doing that for? And I was like, oh, I just wanted to see if I was going to quit.
Did you do it?
Yeah. So
Come
I
on.
ran to Noosa, got to Noosa, had a shower, like turned around and started running back. And the whole reason I did it, because I wanted to push myself to the brink of failure, to the point where I like really wanted to quit and give up and not do it. Like I wanted to know what I was made of, pretty much. Like I wanted to know what I was made of. And like for years, were in situations where, like, I was in the army when I finished school, then I played sort of rugby. Even in those situations where you were getting pushed to your limits, I still was like thinking, man, I think my limits are further than this. Like I really feel like I've got more in the tank. And that's always been a theme. So when I did this run, I was like, I didn't want to train for it, because if I trained for it, it would be a lot easier than it would have been. I want it to be hard.
Just a couple of wheat picks and up you went.
No breakfast. Couple like little hydration sticks and stuff like that. And it's still to this day like one of the hardest mentally. Physically, obviously, like I couldn't walk for a week afterwards and my body was in ruins. But mentally, there was a point where I was coming back from Coolum to Maroochydore and I physically couldn't run, but I had to keep moving and I wasn't going to quit. So I was just like hobbling down the highway. Like, there would have been people just going, what is this guy doing? Like, it took me 10 hours to do.
It's epic though.
Yeah. And I remember getting home just thinking to myself, even though that was so hard and I'm just hobbling home and like, I'm in an ice bath and I'm like, can't breathe. And I'm like, how good is this? Is the best feeling. I can't believe I did it. Like, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking to myself, if my home was another 500 meters or another kilometer down the road, could I have done it?
Yeah.
Like, could I have made it that far? How much further could I have gone? Like, even though like the goalposts were here, and after doing that, I've now moved the goalpost to here.
Come on.
But then I was still thinking, man, I think there's still like, if my house
and
was
if you had someone chasing you, how much further could you have gone then?
I'm like, I think it really
Like,
showed
could
me
you
like
fight to the death? Like,
exactly.
could you keep going until you were actually like crawling? Because like, it's not until you put yourself in that situation or you've got something where you've got no other choice.
Yes.
Because if you've got choice to exit, you can exit.
You can exit.
But if you're just there, and I think that's one of the cool things about having a platform is that I just say it on the platform like, okay, cool, I'm doing a marathon now. Like, here we go.
You're held accountable to your word.
Yeah.
So people are going to be like, you put it out there, it's recorded. People would be like, Hayley, when's that marathon? So it's like,
super cool.
It's great. And I think that just changed my mindset around, doing hard things and just knowing what your body's capable of. Like, I think a lot of us live our lives comfortable and thinking that we can't achieve these things.
But also content with the uncomfortable that they know rather than being uncomfortable with something new that could change the trajectory of their lives.
So true.
Like, they'd rather sit in this shitty situation that they know and that they've done forever. Like, and
it's not that bad. Yeah.
It's like, then shut up.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like, if it's not that bad, I don't want. If someone asks me, it's not that bad.
That sounds so bad. Sorry, I'm like, shut up. It's like, stop talking about it. Like,
but it's like I want to live a life that I can look back and not go, oh, it's not that bad. I want to go, yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That was epic. Did
epic.
you see what I did back there?
Exactly.
20 years ago in 1995, I did that.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
That's the sort of attitude
I'd be
I
running
want.
through the finish line, hands in the air, like, woo!
So how are you going with your running? Are you?
I'm loving it.
Are you loving it?
Yeah, loving it.
Yeah, cool.
Had a few injuries at the start, like a few little niggles.
Yeah.
So I've obviously lifted all my life, and like I'm a big gal. Like I'm 5'10". I'm like a baby elephant when I run. Like she's heavy on the feet. Like
you got some good shoes.
I do now. I was running in like Asics streetwear shoes. Don't do that. But I got like a running coach, and like I'm fully committed. And one thing as well that like I recognize in myself, I'm really good at like just chucking away everything that I've always known to start for something new.
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah.
go all in.
Like a bit,
Nothing
like a
else
bit of a
matters.
phoenix.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I've done it in various stages of my life. And it's why I've been so many different versions of myself is I can just be like, even like with a house or a home, I can be like moving up to Queensland, I decided within 24 hours it's like coming up here. Like, and I'll just jump into something like with 100% effort. And then I'll be like, oh, what am I doing? Like,
I love
and then
how impulsive that is. It's so great.
It is impulsive,
Yeah.
but then it's that choice thing. Like you're here now. Like, what do you do? Like we're going to get it done, right?
Yeah, there's no backing out now.
No, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the marathon. So with the marathon, I was doing like my bodybuilding training, and then I like rang up my bodybuilding coach that I've known for like 10 years, and he's just been my coach for years. And I was like, I say bodybuilding coach because it was from a different stage of my life, but he's just been coaching, mentoring, training me. And I was like, oh, look, I'm going to have to swap coaches. I'm getting a running coach now. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going all in. So I had like track and field on Thursday.
Did you?
Yeah. And how's this? One of the girls goes to me. I was like, oh, you know, I'm just new to my athletics career. You know, I'm a runner. I'm an athlete. And I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram, but I was like, I finished my 400s and I was like, yeah, minute 36. And she's like, oh, no, that's got to be wrong. And I was like, hang on, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
We did like 400s. And
Yeah.
I came back and she's like, oh, that's right. That means you're doing like, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, I am competitive.
Yeah. You do find that you're very competitive.
With myself.
Yeah, with yourself.
With myself. But also, look, I'll try and play it modest, but you're like, oh, yeah, with myself. But they don't know they're in a race with me as well. Like, I'm running against that person that's running on the street or the treadmill next to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like always choosing a marker, always choosing a target, and then moving that target. And
I love that.
Yeah.
It's such a good way for people to sort of reach those goals because like so I go to a gym on the sunny coast and they do a lot of strength-based stuff, but they do a lot of cardio stuff. So for me, I can lift weights easy by myself.
like a hybrid gym?
Hybrid gym.
Yeah.
So I can lift weights easy. I can push myself lifting weights because I love that stuff. But the cardio thing is something that I need people around me.
Yeah.
Right?
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
So I go to this gym and everyone does a high roxes.
Yeah.
So they're all extremely fit. And I rock up and I love it because I'm chasing someone. I'm trying to keep up with someone. And then that helps me push me past the voices in my head where it's just like, man, that's hard. And I'm like, I know it's hard, but you're chasing this guy. And then everyone's like, keep up, Elliot. Come on, mate. I'm like, oh, but I love it. I love what you're doing, you're self-motivating, but you're also like, you know, tagging people into that self-motivation,
Yeah.
be like, I'm going against you. And that person probably doesn't even know it.
No, but then you're also in a same thing as you, a group environment where you don't want to fail in front of people.
Exactly.
So that's like another little push on it as well. But
I don't know if you would like to talk about it, but I would love to sort of go into the reasons why you went on Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
If that's all right. Because that's where I sort of, I remember you during
I just like you weren't looking. I'm like, oh.
So that's another question. Like I like to start on is like when you look back at that time in your life, because with all of us, everyone listening, we've all gone through different chapters of our life, different stages of our life. I have gone through a massive transition where I'm worlds away from the person that I was, say, in my early 20s. And I sometimes have flashbacks or I sometimes look at old photos or I run into people from my past that we are friends. However, catching up with them reminds me of memories or moments in time where I would like to forget. When we bring up maths, is that something that you look back on and have that sort of feeling? Does it give you cringe or anything like that?
Cringe. Cringe is a great word. I wouldn't say like it triggers me or anything like that, but I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
I'd done so much to rebuild my life, like at that point that I went on the show. I'll start with like how I got on the show.
Yeah.
So when I moved out of Scott's house, I was like, stuff this small town. Like, I'm going to be a city girl. I'm moving to the city. Like, I'm going to be something and do something with
Always
my
had
life.
big aspirations.
Yeah. And so I got a job being a finance broker. That's like a story within itself. It's wild. But
That's a little left field.
yeah, little left field. Big. Okay, so I went for this job interview and I'm sitting there, but I didn't know it was an internship. You had to go to, what's it called? Not college. What's it called? Is it college? What do they call it after high school?
Yeah, like uni and stuff.
Uni.
Yeah. Well, college is uni.
It definitely hasn't been to college. And so anyway, so I went for this job and I interviewed really well. Like I could sell ice to an Eskimo. I'd done like a lot of call center work and I can talk.
I can't imagine that you'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's like, basically, you've got the job. And then he's like, oh, well, what uni did you go to? And I was like, sorry? He's like, oh, this is like an internship. And I was like, and I just started like crying or like sitting there and I'm like, you gotta help me. Like, I don't want to go back to that life down in Frankston.
Please save me.
Like, yeah, pretty much like said all that. Anyway, I ended up getting the job. So like, and the job comes into maths. They gave me the job, even though I hadn't been to uni, based on how I interviewed, and then put me through on-job training to do a finance degree.
How good's that?
Epic.
They must have loved you.
God, I could see God's hand over my life back then, like pointing me in a specific direction. And I worked for this guy, and every morning I'd come in on a Monday, and he'd be like, "How's your weekend?" Like I was like 20. How old was I? Oh, I started working there when I was like 25, and I worked there for 7 years. And I'd literally just work, sleep, gym, eat out of a container, go home. Like he just saw this meal prep, boring life.
I
like,
love that.
Compared to just routine, right? Because I knew how good routine was for me. And if I didn't have routine, then that's when, you obviously
start spiraling.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I'd come in on the Monday and he'd be like, any boys? Like, what'd you do on the weekend? Did you get drunk with the girls? Like, and like I was still like, oh, to be fair, like I was doing topless waitressing outside of work at the time, but I wasn't telling George that ran the team at the
No, why would you?
Yeah, I had some, nights and he'd be like, oh, he's like, you should have a boyfriend. And I'm like, well, I don't. Like, and anyway, I just get back on the computer, on the phone, talking to people, doing their finance. And he's like, maths is coming up. Like, you got to audition for maths. And I was like, no way. Like, he's like, you've lived such like a big life and this and that. And I was like, oh, I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. Oh, and then he, on one of the last days, maybe it is a little bit like not triggering, but like, it's like, I'm like, oh, it's a lot because I could, like, that's when my life just went whoosh, like very different again. Like it was a huge acceleration. And, one of the last days that you could fill out the form, he'd actually started filling out the form for me and had sent it to my email. And he's like, I can't do the rest of this form for you.
He was keen, wasn't he, to get you on there?
Yeah. And he was like, for years, he was like this figure that would always just like check in on me, like dad-like, older guy kind of vibes. And so then I just sat there and it was the end of the month. So it was like commission time. And I'm like, I don't have time to fill out this form. And then the questions were like, how was your childhood? And it's like, please explain. And the box was like this. And then I just found myself like, gosh, like just pages and pages, probably going too much into things.
Like trauma dumping a little bit too much.
How much time do you have?
Yeah.
But they ended up loving that. And so I'd obviously gone from like being in Frankston, having this really shitty life to getting a job, changing my life. And then a few days later, I kept getting these private calls and like I wasn't answering them. And I had a answering machine message from this lady from Endemol Shine. And she's like, can you please call us back, Hayley? And I'm like, hey, like, so I was speaking to her. She's like, oh, why didn't you answer our calls? And I'm like, oh, you could have been a debt collector.
Yeah, I'm not answering if you know where I'm from.
and she's like, sorry, what? And I'm like, oh, don't worry about that. She's like, did you just say I could have been a debt collector? And I was like, well, you could have been anything. Like, I didn't know who you were. And I feel like just my honesty in little situations like that throughout the interview process had them like, this girl's like different.
People are going to like her.
This is, different. Yeah. And then I had there's about 14 steps through the interview process, but we had to go to the Como building and I just looked around at, like I'd borrowed a dress for the like interview thing and all the girls looked very the same. I probably look very the same to them now, but I didn't at the time. I was like very comfy in like Nikes and jeans and, I spoke a little bit rougher than what I probably do now. And I was like, how you going? Like my old man and just like, just loving who I was, like unapologetically myself, which I still am, but I'm a more of like evolved version. And I rang my dad. I said, I'm on. And he goes, Hayley, just calm down. He goes, you don't know that you're on? I said, I'm on. And because all their faces in the person interview, they were like this. And I was just like, you know, when you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I knew. And I went back to work and I pretty much like for 2 months had stopped working, sitting in the office. And my boss was like, you need to keep working and keep making commission. I'm like, no, I'm going to be on the show.
I'm checked out.
I'm on the show.
Yeah.
I'm on the show. And, then through every process, I'm like, yes. And he's like, boom, like high-fiving me. And I went on there with the intention of like genuinely finding a partner, like thinking that I would find someone that was just nice. And my dad actually called me a few days beforehand and he goes, Hales, you know that they're not going to match you with someone.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, like, because it seems like they want
drama. I know that now, right?
Why would they want love? Love is so boring for TV.
Yeah, but I feel like all my life have looked at the world through rose-colored glasses. I always want to see the best in things, although I've lived through really shitty situations where I shouldn't give it the benefit of the doubt. I should base it on what I've been through and know better. But I always like to see like this hope and this opportunity. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be like the love story on it. And Dad's like, he calls me Bink. It's my nickname. He's like Bink, like, it's not going to be you. Like, it's
Fucking kept it pretty real with you, didn't
oh,
he?
100%, because he knew. I was like, oh, I'm going to find, like, and I've answered all these questions. And, you know, you go through, like, psychometric evaluation and,
oh, wow.
Yeah, you go
so it's
through.
a long process to even.
It's a huge process, like the analysis of your behavioral patterns and everything. But now I realize that they do that to match you with the exact opposite. It's not actually like for your benefit. It's so they can actually use it as like a manipulation tool to, you know, pair you with someone that they're going to get
ratings.
Yeah, explosive situations out of. And that's what ended up happening.
Is that hard to deal with now, knowing that? Like, but I mean, I guess all reality shows, they want.
They found it really hard to manage me, and I found it really hard to be in there because I feel almost like they've got a storyboard, you know, the blonde, the this, the dork, the person that's
all different types of characters.
100%. So they had this character for me.
Yeah.
And then I would weave, because I'm different versions of myself, and they would be like, oh, can you just say it like this? And like, I didn't want to say it like this. Or they'd be like, oh, we're going to ask you a question, but when you give us the answer, can you say the question in the answer?
Oh, so is it very scripted like that?
So,
is it?
Well, it's not scripted, but they've got a set of questions. So it's not you just saying what you want to say. Like, they'll be like, Elliot, can you say, are you happy with the way that Hayley's dating you? But can you say, I am happy with the way, like, so you're reiterating their question within your answer. So it seems as though you've brought it up. And I was just like, this is going to make me out to be an idiot. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And, yeah, there was just a lot to it. There's just, you're tired in that situation. There's a lot of filming. It's really unnatural.
So what are the misconceptions that people have around filming these types of reality shows, especially MhP&x? Because it's one of the, I think it's still one of the most popular ones on TV.
I think it's the biggest in Australia.
Is it the biggest in Australia?
It is,
Yeah. So what are the sort of misconceptions or misunderstandings that
I'm
people have?
not sure that there's misconceptions so much on what people have, but I feel like from a contestant's perspective, some people are like, I didn't say that, it was the edit.
So the edit part,
the edit thing,
So how much does that come into play?
You definitely say what you say. They can't put words
in your mouth. Yes.
Right. But they can obviously cut it so they could have like a dinner party and then use like a section from the start of the dinner party instead of like the end of the dinner party. And so that can really that can stuff you up, you know? I feel like that's probably one of the main things. But and it just also like the public, this is totally left field, but the public like thinking that people buy into it like it's real life and come at you. And it still surprises me, but I'm saying it surprises me, but then I find myself almost watching it doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing.
What?
Yes. Like it's weird how, because one of the things is like, I remember you on there, and I always thought to myself, like, is this you know, and when you see different characters on there that are, you know, playing different, you know, playing the villain or they're playing, you know, whatever role it is, the you know, the dumb blonde or whatever it is, I always thought to myself, is that a character that they're playing? Is it really them? Is it the producers going, can you do this more or do this less?
Yeah.
Is it very hands-on like that, trying to portray a certain way? Obviously, like you talked about, that's who you were.
Yeah.
Did they try to heighten that even more?
Oh, yeah. So in my interview process, I like spoken about my dad and like called him my old man. And then just during filming, I was saying dad more. And they're like, oh, no, can you go back to that kind of thing? And I was like, well, this is how I talk. I say sometimes say my dad, sometimes I say my old man. But they're like, they had this image of who they wanted to like stick me to.
Yeah.
But I also in the same context think that there are certain people that have been planted on shows as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah. 100%.
What are actors?
Well, the people that have, because you see like on like social media and whatnot, people that have been in various shows and that have acting experience and different things. I have no doubt these are like multi-million-dollar like I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Like there would be plants in there. There would be people like that they would get, or if they're not actors, that they would be like that are a bit of a pushover. That they'd be like, oh, can you do this? Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff is happening. Like I don't trust them.
They need ratings.
100%.
This is a multi-million-dollar business.
It's a cash cow.
It's a cash cow. Exactly.
Yeah, they don't care. I think the first line on the contract is like, we take no responsibility for how you are portrayed or what ends up basically happening to you. That's like, one of the first lines on the contract. And it's crazy because they have all responsibility because they're the ones putting the show together.
Duty of care. Like they have some sort of employment duty of care.
It's crazy because they pay you, right? They pay your wage, which is nothing. I think it's like $150 a day.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't fall under being an employer.
Oh, doesn't it?
No, so you don't have the same rights.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because people have tried to come back at them as being an employer. But I think the contract is worded in such a way that they get out of it somehow.
I'm sure they would have done that with the lawyers and stuff.
Oh, 100%. Channel 9 sitting there making sure they're covered.
Oh, that is mental. And even going back towards sort of how you are portrayed, and especially with MhP&x where people think it's real life and they're so invested in it that like you've gone from sort of no one knowing you to being, you know, portrayed as this character on MhP&x.
I remember just quickly the Australian Open ads coming on in like 2020, and that's when they start rolling out the ads, and it was like, here comes Hurricane Hayley.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I just like sat on the couch and I was like, oh my God. And Dad's like, are you okay? I'm like, the anxiety. I was like, because I trusted Channel 9. So I basically went in there and I said to the executive producer, I was like, I'm an ex-drug addict, I'm this, I'm that, no backwards at coming forwards. But like if I can save someone, I can save them through what they're going through. They're like, oh, we'll handle it with dignity. We'll handle it with this. They're like, girl from the burbs, rough background, loudmouth, tattoos. Like, and I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I need to go into hiding and I need to go into hiding now because like this interview, like I'm a loud person, but if you just cut like all the loud things, I'm going to sound like a really loud person. But there's been times in this interview that have gone really soft and deep. And so they just like cut all the, like eye rolling and all that. And I was just like, those Australian Open ads when they came on, I was just like, oh my gosh, my dad's like, what have you done?
How did you handle I guess there's always some sort of backlash. There's when you play like a character on there, when it's authentically you, but when it's been edited in a certain way to make you seem more heightened, or I can't imagine the scrutiny because you go from sort of not knowing who you are to everyone knows who you are. Like that show is so popular. And then all of a sudden, like, did you cop a lot of, I don't know, backlash on the internet, like with a, you know, rough.
What do you think? Yes.
Well,
I copped it.
Did ya?
Yeah, I copped it. I went out for lunch one day in Port Melbourne. I had a mum move her child away from me. Like they physically moved seats because of the way that they perceived me. They thought I was. So I was getting it in the street. People were like saying things at me. The text terrorists are obviously the worst.
The text terrorists. I haven't heard that before.
just like,
Yeah.
you know, and then my stepmom got to the point where she made a fake account to like go at them.
Oh, she made a burner account to get them.
And I was like, just stop. Like, but yeah, I definitely got a lot. A lot of people are just super invested into it, and it's just, it's not real.
How did you handle that? Like that new thing of sort of, I guess, being judged, because you go from, it's pretty much a show where you're judged 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, and it's in a relationship where I think relationships look different to everyone, and I think people have their own guidelines or rule books when it comes to relationships, and I feel like what might look wrong or might look, unusual for someone's relationship could be completely normal for someone else's. Like I think everyone's got their own things that they're into or things that they handle in relationships. So especially when it comes from a reality standpoint of a relationship, everyone has their own opinions of you can't do this, you can't say that, this is how you should do it, this is how you should do it. Everyone's got their own, remedies of how to do a relationship. How did that like overall affect you?
I felt like I was in a pretty strong position when I first got on maths with like rebuilding my life and where I was at, and I had a job, and I was a city girl, and but what I realized is my roots weren't far enough down in my new life to be able to handle what was the ginormity of what was about to swing in. And that was Australia.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a little whirlwind. This was about to be radio, TV, public, friends, my workplace, my family. Every single pillar of my life was compromised from the show.
Wow.
And every single pillar had a voice and wanted to be heard and wanted to be seen. It was a huge amount of weight for one person to carry, and it broke me. Like it literally broke. Yeah. Well, I had like you got paparazzi and Daily Mail running up the street in Port Melbourne. You're going to Coles and trying to get a picture, and who's used to that? Who's used to it? I'm not. And you're telling him to like piss off, and they're getting you with your finger up in the air, and
yes,
just
we
like,
love this.
Like, yeah. Like she's going,
let's
she's
stir
going,
her up.
100%, and that's what was happening. So it was just like this snowball effect. But like I went to go back to my job in sales, and I couldn't go back to my job because people weren't taking me seriously because of what they were seeing on TV. So now I was in this situation where it was affecting my income.
So you lost your job
as well. Well, I had to quit.
You had to quit,
I had to quit, and then I'm like, I'm going to lose my house. Like I'm going to lose everything that I've built over this TV show. And so I actually went to live with we got a farm down in country Victoria. Went to live with my dad, and then just hide out there for a while, like when
until the dust settles.
Yeah, no one was coming out 2 hours away out of the city, and then it just didn't settle for a while. Like, and then COVID happened. COVID happened. I think it went to air 2020, and then by April, COVID happened. And I remember a journalist, like a spiteful journalist, messaging me on Instagram being like, pretty much, like you must be one of the most unluckiest cast members on any reality show because you've quit everything to go on here, and now you're not going to like make an income. You're not going to do anything because like the world has shut down. And what I remember now looking back at it, because generally people that go on those shows can leverage opportunity to do podcasts or to do things. And like the world was literally shutting off, and he was kind of having a dig at like, you've made your bed, kind of lie in it. And, you said about, did my mental health on the drug side of things kind of take a toll? I think for the first time ever off the back of this show, my mental health really started to slide, to the point where I was just sleeping and eating all day down at Dad's, and Dad was like, you got to get moving. Like you got to do something. And I'm like, everyone knows me. Like, everyone was like looking at me, and then that didn't help with my anxiety either, because I'm like, why are they looking at me? Like, and Dad's like, well, why do you think? Like,
Everyone's got their own perception of who you are.
Yeah.
And no one actually knows
who I am.
who you are. But they just see you on TV and they go see an episode or, quick little snippet, and instantly they go, I know who this woman is. And you're just thinking, no one actually knows who I am.
And they're not listening to what's coming out of your mouth. They're making this image based off what they've seen. And I was just, listen to me. So I lived out there for a while, and then I basically started doing trades with my dad and going to work with the boys for a while.
Sick.
Yeah, doing concreting. And I loved it, but it just gave me a safe space to
I'm sure they wouldn't give a fuck about it, would they?
No, they didn't. But it also showed me like I'm not all these things. You got to really get out of those. You can't become something new in the environment that created it, right? Because it just doesn't work like that. You need to like cut out all those belief systems and all those all the opinions, basically. So it gave me an opportunity to have like a base to rebuild.
Every time I tune in, I sort of fizzled out with Married at First Sight as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
But every time I tune in, there's always the same sort of theme where someone's the villain, and someone's everyone's ganging up on that one person or that one couple, or it's always sort of, and the dinner party explodes. It's always like the same sort of storylines, and after each season, there's so much backlash. Not on everyone. There's always like the happy couple, or there's always the same storyline. But I always think like, do the media take it too far? Does the media take it too far when it comes to wanting ratings, where they want clicks, they want, people to be engaged in their content? Because I feel like it's gone to a point now where the bullying, the internet bullying,
it's bad.
It is so bad, and it sounds horrible and it sounds bleak, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone
kills themselves.
Someone kills themselves.
It's already started happening overseas.
Really?
It's yeah. So there's like talk of class actions happening against Endemol Shine and various other production companies because it's so swayed. Like even something like with your social media. So when you go on a TV show, they take hold and ownership of your social media. So you give them all your logins, everything.
Oh, right.
And so the pictures that they're posting as the show goes along, they give you 5 images. So they'll be like, Elliot, here are the 5 images. Now, they could be all images of you like charging or like rage bait kind of imagery, or they could be like really happy moments with your partner. But at the same time, they're still twisting the storyline, and then you get to caption them. They post them, they do everything, but they choose the images. Now, they have ownership during the show, but they also have ownership for, I think it's like 8 weeks post show of all your social media. So they're controlling how you're perceived as well. So that's a super big thing as well.
Yeah, it's wild to me. Do you think there needs to be some sort of change in the industry where, all right, you want your clicks, you want people to watch it, you want the ratings to come in, but I think we got to realize that these aren't actors. These are real people with real lives after the show. Where if you go to the movies, watch a movie, and there's rage bait on there, or there's something like that, these are actors. These aren't real people doing real things. They're just acting. Whereas this, I think we think these people don't have real lives. We think that we can just say whatever we want for them, and they come back to their real jobs and their real lives, and like, it's all good. I'm like, no, it's not all good.
There are little things put in place. Like there is our resources to like psychiatrists and stuff.
Yeah.
You get like 3 sessions, but definitely we live in a funny world where people's afflictions are like entertainment.
Yes.
People are getting off on people being miserable. And the number one comment that I get a lot on my socials is like, "Oh, well, you did it. You know what you did. Like, the door's basically open." I'm like, "Hang on." I'm like, I say to a lot of people, I'm like, "You're basically knocking on my door to give me shit." Like, I had 300 followers before going on this show. Yeah. I don't want to hear your 2 cents worth. Like, go away.
It's like that you asked for this. I'm like, oh, did I ask for this?
No,
though? Like,
no. I never asked for that.
Exactly.
And not just that, I would never do that to someone else. I'd never do that to someone else. I've never done a trolling comment. I've never been untoward towards someone, or like, you know, if I've known someone, sure, like, and they've been a dick,
Yeah.
it's different,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not these days. But
Yeah.
like, there's a way to go about things, you know. Like, I've never just been like, oh, that Mind Your Head podcast. Oh, you're a bit of like, sorry, what? What are people doing?
So I've got that. So when I didn't have socials before this,
Yeah.
because I went through a really
At all?
So
Okay.
I went through a really bad space with my mental health where I just needed to remove myself. I was comparing myself to other people online and not realizing it's just a highlight reel that people are showing. It's not actually what's going on beneath the surface. And I it was too toxic for me. So I was like, oh, I need to get rid of it all. I need to remove myself. I need to get healthy. And I left it. I enjoyed not having it.
Yeah.
Was still in contact with my parents and my friends and stuff, but in terms of doom scrolling, none of that. So when I got the podcast, I was obviously had to get socials and, you know, put yourself out there and promote it and do all those sort of things. And I thought because I got rid of it, I thought I healed, but I didn't. I just delayed
until you put yourself back into that situation.
delayed that progress. So once I got it back, all these feelings were sort of coming up when it you know, wanting to be liked. Yeah. Wanting people to watch it, wanting all these like almost external
checking the likes, the
external
validation.
Yeah. And it really, especially the first year where it was obviously a learning curve and knowing how to do this, but also a learning curve and understanding who I am and not needing people to like this. Yeah. It's amazing if they do and I keep doing it. But but I wasn't I didn't tie my self-worth to whether this is liked or not liked. And I remember getting a few like I had a good mate of mine come on, he's Aboriginal, and we talked about racism in Australia.
Okay.
From an Aboriginal's point of view.
Yeah.
Not the white person point of view.
Yeah.
And it was a really good conversation. I loved it. And anyway, I had this white fella message me and say, like, fucking move to Alice Springs and tell me if you like Aboriginals or something racist like that. And I'm just thinking, this is the reason why we're having this conversation. Like,
sorry, what?
Yeah. Anyway, and it really it really rattled me, and I started questioning whether I should talk about certain things because
it's the worst. It's the seed he's got into you.
Yeah. So I started really questioning it, and then I would get a message from someone else about the exact same episode, and someone else would be like, man, that's great. I really love that.
Yeah.
And what it was doing was it was like really roller coasting the highs when someone said it's great, and when someone said it's shit, I would just be like, oh, I am shit. And what I had to draw a line in the sand was from moving forward where I couldn't listen to the good or the bad. I appreciate the good. Indifferent. Like I couldn't like go, all right, cool, I'm up here, then I'm down here. I would rather have that self-worth in the conversation that we're having, and where my success is me feeling proud and fulfilled enough that I want other people to see it, regardless of how they see it. My success is me and you sitting here right now having a chat, regardless of these mics are on or these or the cameras are on. That this is where my success is. And then I feel good enough to show it to other people. If other people like it or don't like it, it's actually got nothing to do with me. Yeah. It's got everything to do with them. So that's where I had to sort of like really heal that part of me that I think a lot of people struggle with in terms of what you said then is trolling people for no reason. I couldn't imagine doing that to someone.
It's also the world that we live in. Like we're living in a world where it's like all the likes, all the bum pats, all the validation. So like that social media world perpetuates it as well. And you're right, it's a slippery slope. I did 6 months off socials last year.
How'd you go?
Good. I struggled at the start. Like I deleted the app and everything, and I was pulling up to the lights, picking up my phone, going to use Instagram, and because it's like it's a habitual habit.
It is
100%. And it was like freeing. And you know what I found? People were connecting with. So I went through a stage last year where I didn't think I had a lot of friends or a lot of people around me. I didn't say I didn't have bad mental health, but my life had changed. I'd gone from obviously the adult industry to like finding God, and my world looked like really different. And I was like, am I a loser? Like, where's all the noise gone? Like, because I was like living in such a noisy environment. And like I'd get to bed and I'd do like that whole doom scrolling thing, and like I'd sit there and then see everyone getting married and having babies, and then I'd see my other friends, like they're still like catching planes to Prague and going to Playboy parties, and they're like,
so you're stuck in this middle bit
Yeah,
where you're like,
yeah,
I'm
like-
not that, but I'm also not this either.
100%. So I'm
Yeah.
like, where is my spot? Where do I sit? And then I deleted socials, and like my phone wasn't ringing anymore either. So that was like, because like the girls that I used to hang around, like I don't drink anymore. I'm sober. I've been sober for 2 years. Like
Me too.
Oh,
Yeah,
congratulations.
you too. It's been the best.
Isn't it?
It's life changing. I
It's-
could talk about that for
Oh.
hours. I wish I'd done it. Wish I'd done it years ago. To be honest with you, it
good.
was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I want to jump onto that, but I want to finish what I was saying
Yeah,
before.
sorry.
But no, but just before I forget, because
Yeah.
I'll honestly forget, is that by deleting social media, it actually made people not see what they thought I was doing, and they actually had to pick up the phone to call me. And so I found my phone started ringing again. And people actually started connecting with me, because when people start seeing what you're posting, they have this, like that 1% reel that you were talking about. They're like, Hayley's fine. She doesn't, like, oh, she's confident. She's living her best life. Da, da, da. And they don't know that I'm in bed like, oh my gosh, like I haven't got a husband. I'm like, you know, my friends are still partying. I'm sitting here alone. I'm talking to my dog more than I'm talking to anyone. She's cute.
Yeah.
But that it forces real connection. And, you know, we said just briefly when before we started this that, you know, so connected yet so disconnected. And it's because of this fake life that we're portraying. And I said to someone before, you know, they're like, are you nervous about going on Elliot's podcast? And I said, I don't know if I'm nervous, but I'm a little apprehensive because I never actually want to get fully comfortable with living my life on a screen or a podcast or that anymore. Because when you start doing that, even when you get really natural at it, it's never your natural self.
Yeah, big time.
It's never
Yeah.
it's never natural Elliot. It's never natural Hayley.
It's
like it's you're getting the real me, but you know?
I talk about this with a friend that when people have this perception of me when they listen or watch the podcast, and then I'm like, yeah, but this is the version.
Work version.
This is work version, or this is, I guess, the most real that I've showed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I want people to know also that if we hang out,
You're gonna get a different
you're
side of
gonna
me.
get a different side of me. Like
Yeah.
I swear a lot. My humor is very dark humor. like you know, there are other elements of me that if we were friends and hanging out that you would get to see.
Yeah.
And I definitely understand that. And I think it's almost going back to the good old days where there wasn't socials, where you couldn't just pull up Facebook and go, oh yeah, they had a good day today. Oh yeah, they got married. Oh cool. I didn't even have to ask them because I know everything. I could just read it all or watch it all. I don't
then
even have to give them a call.
We get lazy as
Get
friends.
lazy. Oh.
Don't we get lazy?
Yes.
And then we stop connecting and checking
Yes.
in with each other. And
Yes.
then like we lose like our village and our tribe, and like we need our village and our tribe
It's
to
so
live.
important. It's so
Super
important. Like,
important.
and I've definitely realized that as I've gotten older that I'm very lucky and blessed that the friends that I've got, my core group of friends, I went to preschool with them.
So good.
So we've known each other for 30 plus
That's a
years.
rarity.
It's a rarity. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a rarity until I sort of traveled around and been in different, friends groups and playing footy when I like asked other people about their friends, and they're like, oh, I don't talk to anyone from school. I'm like, you don't talk to anyone from school? My 10 best mates we went to preschool with.
So good.
You know, and I've realized that everyone's having kids and getting married, and big things are going on in their lives, that it's more important than ever to put effort in, because when you're a little bit younger, catch you on a Friday night, it's just me and you and a couple of mates, or we're going for a surf. It's so much easier to connect with your friends. But as you get older, I'm sure you're experiencing it. It's like
it doesn't happen as often.
you really got to like set aside a date and a time and lock it in.
Does life be lifing?
It is. It really is.
lifing.
So like me and my mates, we all share that same focus and energy when it comes to, and commitment when it comes to catching up. So once a week we get in the gym, gym, sauna, and look, sometimes we have a hard session. It's honestly, sometimes
It's just more about the talking and just the catching up.
we will catch up for an hour and a half, and we'll throw a couple of sets in there. We'll go jump in a sauna together. We have a shower, and then we leave. And I'm like, that was amazing.
I
Like,
love that.
we all need it. Like everyone's going through their same thing, but once a week, We spent an hour and a half
You're
together.
being seen, you're being heard, you're being validated, and
Yeah.
it's so important. You can't run this race by yourself.
Yeah. And I love that the conversations have changed as we've gotten older as well. Whereas they're not all about footy or going out, and a lot of them are actually going off alcohol too. And I'm like, yes. Like,
What was your turning point to get off the alcohol? Were you a big drinker?
so drinking, alcohol wasn't my vice, but it was definitely the gateway into doing drugs.
Yeah.
So I would have one beer and
I'd want a bag.
straight on.
Don't just put that on there as I'd want a bag.
Yeah, we'll keep that on. But I'm very honest around my drug taking and how it really derailed me as a rugby player.
Yeah.
It really, the party.
It's so socially accepted, isn't it? It's normality.
Normality. If you want to fit into a footy culture and a footy club, I don't know what the climate is right now. I can't imagine it'd be too different. But especially when I was going through the scene, it was, if you want to fit in, you've got to do drugs and get shit faced with us. And
It's the world. It's not just the rugby scene.
No.
It's
and if you don't do that, we kind of don't trust you. You're kind of a bit of an outcast.
100%.
And I felt that definitely towards the end of me playing footy, where I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to get on the drugs and party like I used to. And I kind of felt like I couldn't connect with the footy players. I couldn't connect with my teammates. And I felt like I was like, I feel like an outsider, that now I don't want to be heavily involved in it. Now I feel different.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like, the drug taking got to a point where I overdosed and I tried to take my own life.
Yeah, wow.
And, I denied that for a few months. I pretended like it didn't happen. I just pretended like, oh, Elliot just had an overdose. Like, I try to rationalize what had actually gone on. And it took me a while to accept that I didn't want to be here anymore, that was the easiest way out for me. And I was so insecure about who I was. I was so afraid to show people who I was. I was so afraid and ashamed and embarrassed about all the decisions that I made and what was going on inside me, that doing drugs was the easiest thing to sort of cover up and, put a mask on and go, no, I'm all good. Like, I'm one of you guys. Like, everything's all good. But deep down, I hated me. I hated that. I didn't like drinking. I didn't like doing drugs, but I was like, well, it's the only remedy that I got right now that makes me feel good. But I hated it at the same time. It was like a double-edged sword. And
When was this? What year? How many years ago?
so that was when I was 27. So that would have been 2016. But I mean, the drug taking started when I was sort of 19, all the way through my 20s. And it wasn't until when I hit 30. So 4 years ago, when I hit 30, so I don't know, something happened in my head where I was like, I was sick of being this person.
Yeah,
I was sick of like all this shit. I was sick of all the decisions that I made. I just got to a point where I remember like trying to take my life, and in August, and that same year I went down to Sydney on a road trip for New Year's, and I went with some friends and just, like, I just tried to get the high to be even higher. I never wanted the high to stop. I was just like, this is too good. I never wanted to stop. And it kept going more and more and more. I was very like, all in or nothing. And I went out to Sydney and then just got on drugs for about 3 or 4 days and didn't sleep, and drove all the way back from Sydney to Brisbane in one go. And didn't realize that I was still on a high. I was like, how stupid is that? And then I couldn't go to sleep. My nervous system was so cooked that every time I tried to go to sleep, it would just wake me up. And I remember like checking myself into hospital in Brisbane, and I was just like, told the nurse, and I was like, look, this is what's happened. I've been abandoned down in Sydney. I can't go to sleep. Like, I physically, like, something's like shocking me awake.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, what's been in your system? Like, what have you had? And I told her what I thought I had, but I was off my head. I couldn't remember what I had. And like, we went through, and she was like, you are so dehydrated. Like, my piss was black. Like,
Wow.
your kidney or livers are not great.
Yeah.
And I remember laying in the hospital bed, and they put me up to a drip, and had all this cartons of water next to me. And I remember like laying there thinking, oh, this isn't bad. I'll be back out tomorrow. Everything will be all good. Life's fine. And it wasn't until I had no money to pay for the hospital visit that I had to call my mum and dad to transfer me money to pay for this visit. And I remember like their voices at it was 1 a.m. or something, and me going, look, I just need $200 for this hospital visit.
Did you tell them like what was
No,
going on?
no, I did not tell them, but I knew that they knew,
Yeah.
and they knew that I knew, and there was this weird silence, awkwardness on the phone where Dad was like, "You all right?"
But
And
like a respect in there.
yeah, and I was like, "No, I'm all good," and Mum's like, Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm all good." And it was like an awkward. I still remember it like it was yesterday. And then I had the chaplain, the hospital chaplain was sort of going around, and came over and he just like nudged my foot. He was like, he was really chilled. He was like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm all good. Like piss off. Like I don't need you, And he was like,
I'm in control of this.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and he was like, "How's everything at home?" And he did not. He stared at me like he saw right through me, and I'm like, "No, it's all good." And he didn't say anything, and he was like waiting for me to talk.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me, and I'm
That's
like,
God.
"No, it's all good." And he was like, "All right," and like stayed, like kept, I
Soul
still remember the look.
staring.
And then he just walked off, and I was like, "Yeah," I showed him like. He fell for that because I'm so good at lying to people about it. And then I remember laying there going, "Fuck, he didn't fall for that at all."
But that got you thinking.
Yeah, it got me
didn't
thinking
He
about
left
it.
it with you.
I just remembered sort of what really got me out of that moment there was the love for my mum and dad.
Yeah.
I get a little bit emotional talking about it, but just what they've done. Like they moved over from New Zealand, and my dad had a terrible upbringing, like really, really traumatic, abusive upbringing. And he moved over from New Zealand, and they had fuck all money. And they raised 3 boys, and we went camping every holidays, and we had everything that we ever needed. And he was always present. My mum and dad were always present at all my rugby games. They were always there for like schooling events, sporting carnivals, whatever it was. Like we didn't have everything that I wanted, but we had everything that I needed.
Yeah.
There was always love in the house. There was never any violence. Like Dad changed all those things. Although we were missing, emotional connection. But Dad never drank around us. Dad never like hit any of us. Like it was always like a very safe place in that regards. And I just remember just thinking, fuck, mum worked the same job for 30 years. Like Dad traveled down to Brisbane from the sunny coast every day to like provide food for us.
The level of commitment.
The level of sacrifice and commitment for us. And this is how I was going to repay them because I was too scared to actually face those demons. I was too afraid to actually go down that dark hole and figure out why I am the way that I am. To seek help and to better myself.
Yeah.
I was going to take the easy option and just like be a victim and self-sabotage and think this is how I was going to repay them. And I felt so guilty and ashamed of it that no parent should ever bury their child. And I was heading down that road. And from that moment on, I was, a lot of people go through rehab and other sources to help themselves, and I definitely went through like my own psychology sessions and really tried to get the root cause and find some answers as to what was going on inside my head. But I remember being in hospital, and it was like a flick had switched in my head where I was like, I don't want to be this person anymore.
Yeah.
I did not want to be this person, and I moved back to the sunny coast, and I got out of that environment, and I the drug taking stopped. It slowed down. It definitely didn't stop, but it slowed down. The drinking stopped. It was all these things. I was putting things in place, but I was still around really good friends, not in that same environment, but still really good friends that loved a beer, And I would always be like, I kind of want to fit in. I can't go to the pub and not have a beer. But then 2 years ago, I got to a point where I think I was just so secure in who I was. I wasn't embarrassed to show the true me. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't searching for people to be liked. I liked who I was. I love who I am. And I was like, you know what? Stuff it. Like, I don't like drinking. Drinking for me leads to drugs. I'm not that person anymore. That's not who I am. This is a line in the sand for me. Like, I don't care if you judge me. I don't care if you don't want to hang out with me. I don't care how it looks to you. How it looks to you has got nothing to do with me. It's how it feels for me.
Yeah.
And it was one of the greatest boundaries that I've put in place was that. And the how it was received is so different to how you think it's going to get received. You think you're going to, well, definitely in my situation where you think people are going to judge you, like, oh, come on, mate, just have a fucking beer. I was met with so much respect and support
I
from my
love that.
friends, and they were like, oh, well, how long are you going to stop for? I was like, I'm never doing it again. And they're like, fuck, mate, good on ya. And I'm like,
Oh,
awesome.
bless.
Like, it wasn't how I thought it was going to be, where I was going to lose friends or, you know, people were going to judge me hard for it. It was like, oh, respect, good on you. I'm actually thinking about it too. I'm like, mate, let's fucking do it
Let's
together.
go.
Let's go. So
good.
it really put in place where I thought drinking. I'm still going on a bit of a tangent here.
No. That's okay. I'm just sitting up and sliding down.
I thought drinking was bringing out the best version of me. So when I would go out, I've got a lot of social anxiety. So I would have a drink, be more relaxed, be more charismatic, or be more funny. I got all these jokes. I'm like, how witty am I?
Yeah.
But what I realized what it was doing was actually showing people the worst in me.
Yeah.
It wasn't showing people the best.
Definitely.
And once I stopped drinking, and then I would also go out and be socialize, because I still want to see my friends, it forced me to really address those reasons why I was drinking in the first place. The uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling like this?
The dis-ease.
The dis-ease. So, and a lot of people ask me, how did the podcast come about? Like, you've always been comfortable, you know, chatting to strangers and stuff like that. And how it came about was that because I didn't want to drink anymore, I would still get social anxiety. But what I realized in social situations, I would, as soon as I go up and chat to someone and ask them questions, and not in a fake way, but really be invested in, you know, asking questions and figuring out like who they are and, like, you know, what their interests are, what do they do, my social anxiety would just disappear.
Yeah.
Like it would be the best remedy for it if I just go up and chat to someone. So whenever we're out, I would just go up and talk to people as my own sort of coping mechanism for how I'm feeling in that point in time. And within 5 minutes, I'm comfortable and relaxed. I don't need that schooner anymore, or I don't need that bag anymore. And then that's how it's sort of like manifested into me doing the podcast and, like,
I love that.
starting conversations with people. So how's the journey been with you?
It's been similar, to be honest, but where mine differs from yours is I had both reactions. Like I had people where it really inspired them, but it also cleaned up my life a lot. Like I not lost my best friend through not drinking, but through my change of life, a lot of people that I was hanging around, not that I expected them to change their life, because I could still sit in the same situations and be okay. Like I could go to like the pub, but then I just found the same conversations that like were happening, I didn't want to be involved in them. And you know what it's like when you're around people that drink, it's the same nonsense and the same discussions 24/7. It's been a game changer. I'm so much more confident. I can go out like exactly the same as you. I can talk to people without relying like on a drink. I always used to say that like, oh, like I won't go if I'm not drinking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that?
How boring is that? Not drinking.
100%.
You know, I'm just like, people always say like, sounds like a pretty boring life.
They're like, do you have any? Are you an alcoholic? And I'm like, oh no, like no, I wasn't. But I just I've got this I am sober app, and it says you got to put in the reason why you wanted to be sober, and I'm like, because it steals my sunshine, like it steals my happiness. The days after the scaries that I used to get, like from being hungover. I couldn't even look people in the eye. I'd be like trying to talk to people. Like it would take every inch of confidence out of me, and it would take like a full week to get it back. And then we'd be like, Thursday, let's go like again.
Do it all again.
And because of it wasn't working, I was obviously traveling around with what I was doing. We were drinking during the week as well. So like we'd go to Moo Moo's, we'd have like a boozy lunch, and then the boozy lunch would go up into nighttime, and then I'd get bags as well. And it's just one thing after another. And then you just start hating on yourself as well, because like the level of shame and condemnation that comes with that, and then you're looking at yourself and you're like, this is just terrible.
It's disgusting.
It's not how I want to live. I'm not showing up as the best version of myself. And one of the things that I really hated is like I live in a beautiful apartment with really gorgeous old neighbors, and they're really sweet. They're like 80 years old, Tony and Mary. They're like lovely. And like when I first moved in, like I would like love on them, and like I was like, helping them with shopping, just doing heaps of things. But then whenever I'd be hungover, I'd like try and avoid them and hide, or just say hi and run into my apartment. And I was actually thinking like, not that it's not fair to them, but like, what are they thinking? Because like I go from like being so loving on them, and they're like, they've got no family here. Like people around me are seeing these different versions of myself, and I just wanted to put that to bed forever, and I did, and 2 years sober.
It's the best, eh?
It's the
Yes,
best.
I love it.
You know, the longevity, the mental health, the just like it affects so many areas of your life. But what I was going to say earlier on in the conversation is that it's really sad that we live in a society where the interaction is, when you're talking about the cocaine, you know, that it's, I think you were talking about cocaine and I said, oh, it's more normalized now than what not using is. And I don't think it's a rugby issue. I think it's
Society issue.
100%. And I'll be in environments and they'll literally ask that question, you know, what's wrong with you? Like, did you just get out of rehab? And I'm like, no. But people are afraid of real discussion. People are afraid of opinions that are varying. And so everyone's jumped on the same train that is not necessarily heading anywhere. It's just like going around in this loop. And then when you decide to get off that, you're looked at very differently. That's wild.
It's wild to me that I always think that our culture, and I'll just talk about the Australian culture because I'm sure it's, you know, similar around the world, but the Australian culture is so heavily, you know, gambling, drinking, drugs is so normalized in today's society that, like you just said, then if you don't do it, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're the odd one out. And I'm just trying to understand that around like talking to kids and young kids that are coming through, especially in the footy scene, because that's something that I need to see some change. I want to see some change in that, because I never want a young kid to be in an environment where they have to do things they don't want to do just to fit in.
Yeah.
I want them to feel they belong, just who they are, regardless if they like drinking, if they like doing that stuff. Cool. But if you don't like doing it, I do not want you to feel pressured into doing something that you don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Just to fit in. Like they're these environments, and not just in footy, but in life either. Like I do feel like there's a little bit of shift coming, because I talk to some young kids now that coming through, and they're kind of like, yeah, like everyone's like doing like run clubs in the new dating thing, and I'm like, fuck, how good's that? Like,
well, that's
you know?
like schoolies this year had a run club, and more people were ditching the late nights for the early morning run clubs. And I do think as a society in general, and like we can talk about the drinking thing, but we can also talk about other issues, and like especially like with Christianity is like having this huge swing where more people are turning to God than ever. I think as our society as a whole, we have gone so far over to one side that people are desperately seeking routine and structure, but self and who they were made to be. And they've seen the way that it's been going for so long, and they're like, I'm doing a sharp U-turn the other direction.
This isn't serving me at all.
No, it's actually hindering me. It's taking away.
Before we get into the faith, because it's something that I'm really interested in, you did mention that you had some time in the adult industry.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean, sort of got out of maths.
Yeah.
Obviously, rough time with the, you know, the media and that sort of thing. What you know?
What drove me into it? Yeah. So, COVID was happening. I went to stay with Dad down at his farm, and then got back to Port Melbourne, and I'd obviously rebuilt my like life. I had everything going for me, in the best manner that I knew how to, and then I'd lost my job. I couldn't work anymore, and I found myself in this situation. So my dad is quite conservative, like very conservative. I was too. I was like a prude. Like, yeah. It was like it's so many like arms to this story, but I remember I'd started drinking to cope with all the like turmoil of the show. I actually relapsed after maths, and I got back on the pipes, and I got a wine subscription. So basically I was in this house in Port Melbourne. I had to have like the blinds drawn all the time because like the Daily Mail was at the front. This is after I got back from Dad's, got back up to the city. COVID was like really happening. And in Melbourne, Melbourne had like the toughest
it was terrible down there.
Lockdown laws, and you couldn't go within like
curfews.
I think like 5 kilometre radius of where you lived. And my family and friends were all out of suburbs. Where I grew up was about 40 k's away. Dad was 2 hours away, so very isolated. And then I found myself like scrolling through my phone because, again, like you said, I had been drinking, and then it's like, well, what do you do now? Coping mechanism. And so I was smoking ice again, and the numbing, the removing of like the escapism was there. And then I was like, oh, I don't have to deal with any of this while I was high. And then when I came down, it was like a freight train, like, fresh out of hell, basically. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the reality just hit me. And I was like, I'm going to lose everything that I've worked really hard for. Like, what am I going to do? I need a job. And then someone was like, oh, you could go on Centrelink. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go down to Centrelink with their Daily Mail chasing me during COVID, like because Melbourne was shutting down, and because I did finance as well, there were no other options to get another finance role because who wants finance when no one's working?
Yeah, no one's spending money.
The industry's gone,
Yeah.
right? And it's not that Centrelink is shameful because like there were a lot of people that were having to go
That
on
needed it, yeah.
on funds, right? So it was something that I was really considering. I was like, I'm going to have to go on whatever it is just to survive. And then Mark Orville, Angry Dad,
Yeah.
actually messaged me on Instagram. He was super helpful at the start of my fame as such, like when I started to get a platform, because he'd obviously been through it with his kids and himself. And so we had like this friendship online, and I was just being really honest to him. I'm like, I'm in a really shit position financially, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Everyone knows me. I can't get a normal job. And he actually said to me, like, have you considered OnlyFans? And I was like, what? Like,
I'm pretty sure that's when it just started kicking off as well.
Yeah,
Like it was just sort of starting
it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just like in its initial stages.
Yeah.
And like, so I knew what it was, but I don't think OnlyFans when I first started was like porn.
No.
Or it may have been, but like very small minority.
Soft.
It was
Yeah.
it was more like photos. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I going to word this?
Yeah, how do I word this too?
Small vagina photos. And that kind of stuff, and topless photos and whatnot, but it wasn't like porn. And I was like, all right. So anyway, he said that, and then I got really blind one night, and I got on it, and like I was sending it in my own room basically, and like just like I was on lives, and just like, and everyone was like, well, like she's going downhill, like there's a lot happening here. It was the truth. Like it wasn't far from the truth.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to make an OnlyFans account. And like, I remember like having to hide the like bottles and the like pipe off the side table. And I made an account, and I posted like this bikini picture of me in a sauna when I was doing a shred to get on maths. And I put like this tiny little like link at the bottom, and I was like, made an OnlyFans. The next day, or probably like 2 days afterwards, so I slept for like a while because I'd been up for a while as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I made an account, like
Shit.
what is on there?
Yeah.
And I logged on, and I think there was like $4,000 like with subscribers in my account, right? So it hadn't gone like wild, but like I was also like ready to sign up for Centrelink.
Yeah, so $4,000's fucking good.
$4,000, right? And I was like, okay. And I think between this time and my dad had been like, you're not doing porn, are you? Like Dad plain out came out and asked me, and I was like, no. I'm like, you would never do that. Like, absolutely not. Like, I'm just, you know, justifying to him what I'm doing, like bikini photos and whatnot. Little did he know that like the first post that I did was like splashing around in the bath with like my ass up in the air, and it was so bad. It was like the whole thing was bad, but this was just even worse.
Yeah.
And so got onto that, and then within a week, the media picked it up, and it as soon as the media picked it up, it went crazy.
Did it really?
Yeah, it went wild. So my first month on OnlyFans, I think I made like 65,000 US.
Get fucked.
Yeah. Wild. Like wild, 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 wild. Like
How did that feel going from, struggling financially to all of a sudden there's...
I was like jaw on the floor. I was like, what? And I had no financial, like, I wasn't prepared
Yeah.
because I have never been, even now, like, I'm not great with money.
Mm.
Well, I'm not because I've never had rich parents. I've never been around people that have had money.
Mm.
Like I've learned along the way, but in all honesty, like I've just had to learn from falling over myself and from making those mistakes. And so I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is crazy. Like this is so wild. And then obviously like I spent a lot of money.
Did that feeling almost become addictive? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
You're like, I want more.
100%. And that's how like it scaled from what I was doing. And then, so basically with OnlyFans, and what happens is that you come in, you're new, you're fresh, and mine was obviously leveraging the TV show and leveraging my Instagram, and I had Twitter at that point. People come in, you get a high subscription base, so you start making money off your subscribers, and then I'd say like probably for your subscribers, if you got 100 subscribers, you'd get like 25% in DMs, like in paid per view content. And then what starts happening over time is your subscription base drops and your yield for your paid per view goes up because you have your like regular
Core
followers and then you have others that swing in. But what starts happening with that is you have to obviously start doing more to get people to continually buy.
Yes.
And then what happened for me in particular, and going to the addictiveness of the money, is so like I came in on this huge high. Like that's an incredible number. That's like, what's that, 120,000 Australian?
Was that consistent each month?
No, so it dropped back. That was like one of my better months, but consistently it was about 30,000, 20,000 a month. So it was still, it's wild.
Right.
But I this is how bad it got. I got to the point where I was like, it's not enough. It's not enough. Like, how am I going to survive on this? Because fast money spends fast.
You adapt to the lifestyle. Like, this is normal for me now.
Yeah, 100%. And then I'm like, I'm going to be so poor if I don't make this. And it's like, come on. So you start having to do more to get the same amount of money. And that's where it started escalating for me. So I went from nudity to like masturbation videos. And then who did I do my first sex scene with? And like, this is crazy as well because I wasn't a really promiscuous person. I'm still not. Like, do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you believe that? Yeah. Like, so I'm a little awkward. Right. And I've had like long-term boyfriends. Like, I mucked up when I was younger, don't get me wrong, but I've never had a one-night stand.
Right.
Like, even to this day, like never like just picked someone up at the pub and like brought them back home. Like, that's not how like
It works.
I am.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, okay, so I can act this. I can act this. If I can act this, then I can like use this as a job. And I remember my first, like, I'm trying to think, my first sex tape was.
Yeah, because you had no issue being performative.
No.
Yeah.
No, I
For obviously for the job.
No,
yeah.
I used to say to people, they're like, oh, how do you feel? And I'm like, oh, like, I'm so in control of it. I know what I'm doing. But there was like disassociation happening.
Was there? Yeah.
Really early on in the piece that I didn't realize that I was doing, like putting on like a persona that wasn't me to cope with it and to protect me. That persona started becoming more of me.
Oh, right.
Than who I actually
The
was.
real you.
Yeah. So then
You almost got a bit lost and going, all right, What's the real me?
I 100% I
You
got
did,
lost.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely got lost to the
Yeah.
point where I obviously went through all the stages and then ended up in escorting. And then after escorting, so you're sleeping with men that you don't know. And it started from like my clients on OnlyFans. And I like was getting offered ridiculous money. And again, it's just like pure greed. Like how much money does someone need, right? But I couldn't keep the money in my hands either. It would just
Go straight away.
it would just go
Yeah.
like, and it was like a lot of money. And I look at my tax returns now for those years, and I just think,
You almost don't want to look at them.
don't want to look at them. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But you sleep with these men, you put yourself in these situations, and then it all stops. Like the noise, the travel, everything stops, and you're sitting in a hotel room or you're sitting in your room, and now you're with you.
Did you like that version of you?
What version that I was sitting with? I hated it.
You hated it.
I hated it, and I would like. I'd have a shower after the shift or the booking or the scene, and I'd always go get food afterwards, and I just like the way that you're walking and like the way, and this might not be the same for everyone, but for me is like I started acting small physically. Like, like shoulders down, like my self-worth had gone down. Like I was like not standing tall or
Being proud and confident.
I was stuttering when I was talking because like I actually, like you said, a little bit lost between those two versions of yourself. I didn't know who I was anymore. So I couldn't even present as anything because who am I presenting as if I've been something for so long that isn't me? I don't even know who I am anymore. And so that was a really hard place to come back from. And the only way that I came back from that is sitting in silence and sitting with myself. And sure, like you would have done similar things, and anyone that has rebuilt their life has had to do it. It is so uncomfortable sitting with your own thoughts and sitting with yourself, and like you cry and it's sad and it's heartbreaking and it's cathartic and it's like you're hating on yourself, but something really beautiful happens in the sitting still and in the quiet chaos of yourself. You re-find yourself. And then that just doesn't happen like that
overnight. No.
it's a
It's a
process.
slow burn, isn't it?
It's a really slow burn, and burn's a great word because you literally burning, like you're burning away everything. But that I just like had this like imagery of like a caterpillar, butterfly, cocoon version of yourself. Like you've got to sit there and sit in that mess, in that shit.
For however long it takes.
Yeah. And no one, one of my favorite sayings is no one's coming to save you.
It's true though.
No one's coming to save you. You've got to save you. But it's just through sitting there that you break out of that, like just by not doing. Yeah.
Not being performative. It's was there a moment during that process where you just had enough? Like I know you sat there and being with yourself, but there was a moment in the industry that you really like was a line in the sand for you that was like, oh, I can't fucking do this anymore. Like
I feel like there was a few.
It was a few, was
yeah,
there? Yeah.
I feel like there was a few. I feel like throughout my life, there's been many little micro moments that have added up to one big moment, and you recognize them when you get on the other side. But one in particular is when I was overseas, and like I was drinking so much that I literally was vomiting and urinating like the next day, like on my bathroom floor, like I just losing control of myself and not coping with what I was doing. Like I was just, because I drink in bookings as well to cope with what I was doing and thinking I was in control. And I was in these like beautiful, at the Star, like this 2-story hotel suites and everything, but I was drinking a lot, and then I was just writing myself off through the sessions to be able to cope with it. So that was like they were some of the points in regards to the escorting. But in regards to the OnlyFans, I went over to Prague. I was filming for Fake Taxi, and feel like I know it.
We're going to have to edit that out. I was like, could you tell? Could you tell that?
You're not editing that out.
Fuck, that's funny. I wish physically you didn't see that.
You're like,
I was like, oh.
So I went over to Prague to film for Fake Taxi, and I actually went over to Europe, and I'd planned like this whole content shoot, like with really big performers, to film OnlyFans content, professional content, but also escorting. So it was going to be like the biggest thing that I'd done. And when I got to Prague, the conditions for what I saw as like a glamorized, because I would say to people, oh, well, I'm at the top end of the scale, you know.
I've got it good.
Yeah, like, and I'd say, you know, about the escorting, oh, well, I'm not like a girl that stands out on the corner, but I'm still a girl that's doing it. I'm still the same. I was so deceived. Like, I was so like in this own little bubble that I created for myself that I was so far away from the reality of what I like. You're still doing it, you know.
I'm not better than anyone else that's doing it. I'm still doing it.
100%. But I thought that I was, because I was dealing with like a different scale. And so I went to Prague and I was filming, and a few things happened over there that were like not okay. I filmed so Fake Taxi has 3 arms. I don't know what the production house is called, but they've got Public Agent, Fake Taxi, and another one. I did all 3. So I'd done like my signing of the contract, did everything in this house. So I get taken to, so it's the Czech Republic. It's a very like hard country. People are very like, I think was it like a Soviet Union country before? So people are very like cold. There's not a lot of emotion in the country. So being an Aussie and going there, I was like, oh, these people are like, it's just like get to business. Like there's no love. That sounds terrible, but I really picked up on it as soon as I got there. Like it was just like, and I don't know if it was just these people in general that I was dealing with, but
just the culture or whatever it is, but it's,
they were hard. They were hardened people, like hard asses. And I was like, oh, this is like, I don't know if this is going to be like
my vibe here.
Yeah, or safe.
Yeah, safe,
I don't feel like there's any emotion to like how I would feel if something was.
If I said no to something. Yeah.
100%. And so I filmed and I had signed, and they do like a video of you agreeing, saying that you're not on drugs, that you're in stable mind, that so you can't withdraw your consent from the content. And so you do all that, and then, you know, you get sold on like these WhatsApp conversations and what are they called? Like video calls with directors before you go, and it's over glamorized. And you're like, oh, this is, you know, the agency is like putting you forward. I'm part of this big international agency now, and so I've done all that, and then I like get dressed, and you kind of get like a rundown sheet of what you're doing. And I was like, okay, cool. Nothing really that like I hadn't done or been exposed to at this point. It was pretty straightforward. And but then I got to like the set, and the set was literally under a bridge on a motorway that there was like paraphernalia of like just condoms, used condoms, and just like it was deplorable. It was so disgusting. There was just syringes. And so in porn, in professional porn, a lot of male actors will inject their penis with it makes them hard for longer.
What?
It's kind of like a Viagra.
Oh, right.
And it goes in like one side of like the shaft. And I did not think we were going to go here on this conversation. So let's go here. And it gets them hard, right? And it's for performance. And so there were like little syringes everywhere. So I'm in like the Czech Republic. I can't understand a word of English. I've got paid like, I think like 8,000 euros for like this scene. And I get to like this bridge and they're not really caring about me at all. Like I haven't ate. I haven't like, I'm just in a really shitty, uncomfortable situation. I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? Like this is how did I end up here under a bridge doing this? Like this is wild. And then they're like, shooting the scene. And I just remember thinking like I could be like, I could lean back but like I was on a bridge base, like the concrete pillar of a bridge base, like doing the scene. And in the scene, there's like public cars driving past. And that's like,
What the fuck's going on here?
it's some of the allure for, there's like a certain people that like people having sex in public and that kind of thing, right? So, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could end up with AIDS or Hep C or something because there's other things here. And like you get tested and you do all the things. So that was another point. And then at the end of that, I was in Prague for 4 or 5 days. I was in this filming content house, but I didn't stay in the content house. Thank God I didn't, because I went upstairs to have a shower and I went downstairs and they said they were going to call me a taxi because after Prague, I was flying back to the UK. And when I got downstairs, all production and everyone had left and they just left me in the house. And I was like, hello? And like walking around the house and everyone had left because they'd got what they'd wanted. They'd got what they...
Paid for, I guess.
100%. They'd got what they wanted. They'd used me up, chewed me up and spat me out.
Fuck.
And so I'm standing in like this content house and so I messaged the agency and I was like, this has just happened. They're like, oh yeah, you know where your hotel is, don't you? And I was like...
It's just normal, is it? Like they said it was all normal.
Yeah. It must be normality, right? So that happened and then I got back to the UK and I was on a scene and there were like older actresses around. And at this point, like my anxiety had come back as well. And I was just like not loving who I was, like literally, I keep using those examples of my neighbors, but like not being able to even speak to these lovely people, like it really hurt my heart. Like I wasn't able to be authentically myself. And I remember sitting there and I was just like, they'd be like, all right, like we're going to go do this. And I'd be like, I was just numb, like hands on the wall, like literally just doing the scene and just thinking, like, I'm a shell. Like, I'm literally getting used and abused because of my own consent, right? But like, I've consented to this. Like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are anymore. And it got to a point where I was supposed to stay in the UK for a while and I had seen a few girls over in Thailand doing like Muay Thai and stuff. And I rang my dad and said, oh, I'm going to go to Thailand. And that was a pivotal point in me. Just, I had a breakdown. I had a mental breakdown. I had a physical breakdown. I just broke down. Like I literally broke down in tears on the floor, crying and wailing and just being like, I can't do this anymore. And that's where I found God. I refound myself. And it's where I literally said, like, I don't know what like, I'm going to swear, like, what the fuck I'm going to do. That, like, I will do anything other than this.
Yeah.
Like, take it. Like, take everything from me. Because the level that I was at to have to keep the life that I had.
It's not worth it.
No,
not at all.
No, it wasn't worth it. Like I was just so used. I was having to defend who I was as a person all the time because of my actions, which is like, I don't want to say that it's not like, I was having to defend who I was, rightfully so, because of like if someone's doing something, but they're people are like, well, this is who you are, and I'm like, well, it's not. I'm just like I'd kind of forced myself between a rock and a hard place where I was having to do something to keep this life that I had built around myself that I didn't want to do it anymore. Like I was so over it. I was just out at that point.
What made you go, to God? Like it's
I don't know.
obviously you're at a rock bottom. You didn't like who you were. You'd rather start again than be this person.
Yeah.
What was religion part of your family growing up? Was there ever an
Can I give
interest
you
in it?
this like strange analogy that I've
Yeah,
thought of recently?
go.
Like, you know, when like a mum has a baby and like a baby is like looking for milk, like for the first time, and there's this like internal human thing that happens in a baby where the baby can find the mum's boob,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That just
Yeah,
happens.
they see the nipple and they go, "I'm getting fed right now."
100%. But the baby has never known to do that, right? I believe now that there comes a point in everyone's life where, like, the spirit, soul, and body, where my body was so fed, like, with riches, with everything that the world wanted, right? But my soul was like dying. It was starving. Like, it wanted to be seen for who it was, for who it was created to be. And in that moment, I was just like, because I'd asked for help. Like I'd asked, well, maybe not directly asked for help, but I had said my situation. I was like, huh, you're earning all this money. Like you're fine. You're fine. Like no one was recognizing what was happening. But that's also because of what I was portraying as well.
Yeah.
And showing on that 1% Instagram highlights as well, because I was living this fake life because I was probably really scared that people would see the reality.
The real you.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And what was happening behind the scenes. And I found myself in this situation in Thailand where I was just a mess. Like I was blubbering and just like, really the ugly cry and like heavy. And when you just can't stop crying and it's just coming out.
Gotta let it out.
And
yeah.
I was just like, it was a lot of build up, like 3 years of build up. And I just called out to God. And it's wild because never ever would I have thought that A, I would have done that. B, I'd be where I am now with a relationship with Christ. But I just said, like, if you're real, like take this from me, something along those lines, I can't do this anymore. I am failing, like, and failing brilliantly.
I need help.
Like, I need help.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I'm done. I'm done. And that was kind of the start of my
Journey.
journey.
What has your faith given you that you were searching for?
Yeah. Peace.
Peace. Inner peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to sound contradictory to where we started this conversation when I said that I'm good, but I'm also not good because I'm like waiting for things to happen. But so it's the scripture says that peace I will give you, but not as the world gives you. I have found this rock, this safe space to land on and I want to say rebuild my life, but it's God rebuilding my life and showing me who I was always intended to be.
What's been the most challenging part of finding God?
Challenging.
Like, has it been... I always wondered just about, your past and everything that you've gone through. Did you feel like you were worthy enough?
For God?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had a issue with that. I've never felt more like accepted for who I am.
In that community?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, what welcome with open arms.
Crazy.
Did you expect that?
No.
Yeah.
Because I've never been accepted with open arms like that in any environment that
I love that.
that I've ever been to.
How did that feel?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Like amazing. Totally amazing. Like so much love, and God is just so good. And I had this situation happen when I was at Glow Church. It's where I got saved. And Pastor Joel was like, does anyone want to come up and testify God's goodness? And I was like standing at the back and I felt like this tangible push on my back, and
Yes.
I was like, nah. And then like God and the Holy Spirit was like, nah, this is your go. Like you get up there. And I was like this. And I just was like I love God. Like he's helped me find Jesus and like he saved my life and, you know, given me life. And I just was like, I was like a prostitute. And so this is like a prayer meeting with a room full of what I would say then, not now, because I didn't know any better. I would have been like people that would have been judgmental. Like I'm like, they're not going to understand. They're not going to do anything right. So I just start spilling my guts to like where I've been and how good the Lord is and how I've seen him show up and how I've surrendered everything to him. And then I kind of like come back into myself, right? Because like I got my eyes shut and I'm just talking and I'm like wailing and I'm crying. And then I open my eyes and see everyone around. I'm like, oh,
Shit.
you know,
Yeah.
like the reality. And the whole room just starts like walking towards me, right? And they just start laying hands on me, like edifying, like praying words of encouragement, like breaking off strongholds, like just like lifting me up as a sister in Christ, right? This super empowering moment, right? And like just loving me how the Father has loved them, loving on me, and this like immense weight and catharticness that was on me. Like I'm just like, and then they're just like, it has been one of the most crazy, beautiful experiences of my life. Crazy because I never thought that I'd be here.
Yeah.
Beautiful because I have been so accepted as who I am and where I am at and nothing else, no expectations. Really love this quote that a fisherman finds a fish, they find it dirty, then they clean it to eat it. God does the same with us.
Yeah.
And I feel like, get it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that one.
It's a goodie. God does the same, and I feel like the church has done the same in holding that space for me to be me.
Have you found, that's so beautiful to hear as well, but have you found that there's a little bit of misconception around people that aren't religious, that people that are all perfect, all good, they've done nothing wrong with their lives.
Oh, we're not.
But in reality, there are so many people that have gone through really heavy things and have turned to God.
Yeah.
You're right. And like what you've done, have you met some people that have gone, oh my God, is that what happened to you? Like, you know, have different paths that have all sort of led to this one thing.
So are you saying, have I met people in the church
Yeah.
that have said that to me
Have you
as
met
well?
people in the church that have different backgrounds that you wouldn't have thought, you know?
Oh, 100,
Have you?
100%.
Because I'm sure you would have got up there going, you know, spilled your guts about, you know, who you used to
Yeah.
be.
And you got to remember at the same time, people are people. So the church isn't a perfect place. The church is a place for the broken as well.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
It's kind of like a hospital for,
Yeah.
for broken people,
Broken
right?
souls.
Yeah, and
spirits.
but there's
yeah.
different levels, but it's also such a place of redemption. Redemption and people getting fixed and supernatural healing and that in turn, when people get healed, they can then lean back to heal others. And the stories are just wild that come out of church about what was and what now is and who people are because of Christ in them.
'Cause
And
redemption is like, it's such a good word for your story too, because the things that you not only went through, like, especially when you were a kid, all the things that you've gone through now, and to see you here sitting here today, I'm so proud of everything that the
thank
person
you.
that you are and everything that you've gone through. And talking about redemption, how have you been able to reconcile who you were and understand, almost make peace with the old version of you and understand that those, you know, those the values and everything that they don't align with who you are today.
Yeah.
And maybe even learn a new way to, you know, self-love and that forgiveness, because I'm asking that because I went through my own sort of challenges with accepting the old version of Elliot and understanding that that's not him anymore. I'm not ashamed about that person I used to be. I know that was just a different stage of Elliot,
Yeah.
and that led me to who I am today. how have you been able to sort of reconcile with, you know, those old choices, that old decisions, that old versions of yourself, while still, you know, loving who you are today?
Oh,
That's a tough question.
I have to take a second to really think about it. It's a lot to chew on, but I feel like one of the things that people always say is like, oh, the internet's never going to forget. It's always going to be out there. And you know what? I'm so glad. I'm actually so glad because number one, it glorifies like what God can do in a person, right? But also shows like it takes effort. Like it's co-laboring with God.
Yeah.
You know, we have to co-labor. You can't sit on your own hands.
It's not all just him.
It's a relationship,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's what helps. I feel like for me, every single version of myself has led me to where I am today. And that at points when I was going through the mess, I would have wanted to be anything other than what I was going through or where I was at. But now you don't appreciate the storms that you're in until you're out of the storm. But this a solid storm makes a handy sailor or a great sailor. I don't know what the exact saying is. You know, a skilled sailor.
Yeah.
A skilled sailor, right?
It's true.
So it builds you and it strengthens you. And there is still some things that happen in my life where you've said it a couple of times through different conversations that we've had today about that I can't control what and how people perceive me. I can only control who I am and what I think of myself. And I know who I am. I know what I do on the daily, and I'm happy with who looks back at me in that mirror. And I go to bed at night with a peaceful heart and a peaceful head. And I'm more content now than I've been in any stage of my life. And I'm about to turn 40. I've lived a chaotic life.
You should write a book. It would be an awesome book.
I've lived a chaotic life.
I guess that's the only thing that really matters is how we think of ourselves. And when you look in the mirror, if you're happy with the person that's looking back, that's the only thing that matters.
100%. And it's hard when you have lived a life where the last, say, 7 years now have been in a social aspect as well. And even at your level, like when you're talking about the Instagram thing before about getting the reassurance and the validation from likes, like there's a scale to everything, right? And we all sit on that scale somewhere and still get the same things. But it's just retraining and recalibrating myself that, and again, this goes back to the conversation that we had at the start, that I am safe, that I am fine, and just really sitting and marinating in who I am now, not who I was. Like you can't walk through the door ahead of you if you're still holding on to the door that was.
Exactly.
Like that's just going to keep hitting you on the ass. Like you got to let go. And so for me, it's about not forgetting because there's wisdom that comes in the life that we have lived. It's about moving forward and releasing what was for what can be.
I love that.
And I really believe that the Lord gives us what we can handle. Like you can't grab onto something new if your hands are full. So it's just about, moving forward, letting go of what was and moving into what will be with wisdom.
I love that. And letting go is something that I'm definitely still learning.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's letting go, all sorts of things.
It's not in the human nature to be, it actually goes against, because we're hunters and gatherers, right?
Yes.
So like we're actually built to grab on, to latch onto things out of survival, but we've become accumulators of stuff. And we're not meant to have all the stuff.
Stuff that doesn't serve us.
Emotional stuff, physical stuff in the house, and it weighs you down. So like we have to go back to this state that we just have, there's this scripture that I really love. It goes, one handful of tranquility over two handfuls of toil. And what it basically means is one handful of peace other than chasing the wind for all this stuff. And it comes back to like putting things simply and beautifully and what you just need.
quality over quantity.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up these 2 photos that we've got here. Do
Yeah.
you just want to show them to the camera? I asked Hayley to bring in her
My nails are so bad. I didn't get to get a manicure.
her favorite childhood photos, and it's something that I do that I started doing a few years ago was, and we talked about at the start, was having conversations with your inner child, with your past self. So this is called 2 chairs between past Hayley and present Hayley.
Yeah.
So you can answer these questions while you're looking at your younger self. When you look at her, what's the first thing that you think?
Like I actually didn't know that this was me when I first got this photo. So after I reconnected with my mum, I got some photos of my childhood. Like I'm so innocent.
Mm. Mm. What do you thank her for?
Um, like she was doing the best that she could do.
What do you wish that she knew?
That everything is going to be okay. That that there's a life far bigger than what she could see.
And last one, what would she think about the woman that you are today?
I think she'd be proud.
Would she?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know she'd be proud. I don't think she would have ever imagined it would have been possible to be where I'm at, because it was never demonstrated to me when I was younger, this life, because it wasn't in my world. So I just didn't know it. I didn't know that it was
achievable.
Yeah. And so
you did it.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
It's wild, isn't it?
It is wild. When you look, I get the same feeling when I look back at little Elliot and think, you know, he would be so proud. And I always think, everything I do in life, I look at little Elliot and go, I'm just trying to make him proud. Like, he was such a scared, insecure, you know, frightened of, you know, possibilities and frightened of the world. And to see what I'm doing now, he would just be like, fuck, mate, are you really doing that? You know?
Right.
Yeah. So
and how good would it be? I just had a thought then when you were saying that, like, if we treated people like they were the little versions of themselves, like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's not easy, but people don't really put in, as adults, we're just so short with each other. But like, if it was a little kid, like, you'd be loving on that person so much more. Like, that's where we need to come from.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've got some quick fire questions to finish off, and
Can I get a tissue quickly?
And I'll let you go. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
How big is that writing on your iPad?
Big enough because I got glasses.
I'm like, I can see it from here.
I've got 10 minutes. Is that right?
Sorry, I talk. Is my makeup all right?
You're beautiful.
No, thank you.
Beautiful.
Bless you.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep them there. So I'll just do some quick fire questions so you can answer these as quickly as you like. What's one habit that you had to kill to get your life back?
Ooh, thinking that the world owed me something.
Love that. What's one boundary you wish you had years ago?
Saying no.
Do you feel enough?
Yes. But I also feel like, I know this is rapid fire.
Yeah, that's right.
But I also feel like feeling enough is a constant choice that you have to realign yourself with every inch and minute of every day, because we can get so influenced by our environments that it's very easy to not feel enough. And it's coming back to your own values and what you align yourself with.
Constantly checking in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your proudest moment?
Proudest moment. Proudest moment. Probably getting to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
What's been your hardest day?
My hardest day. Hardest day. It's been so many, but I would say hardest day. It's hard to choose one, isn't it? I've had hard periods,
I know, yeah.
but like hardest day. I don't know if I could put it down to one hard day.
Yeah. You've had a lot of hard moments.
Because it's usually like an accumulation of things, isn't it? Like, so to put it down to one particular day, I'd probably, like if I had to say one, choosing to, like when I got kicked out of home, could have gone very differently, but that was like probably my choice to go down one road instead of realigning myself with my family.
Last question for you. What do you want your legacy to look like now? You know, if people listen to your story here today that have also had, you know, similar upbringings, that have gone through hell, that have, you know, felt like they've lost themselves, that are going on this redemption journey as well.
Yeah.
What's one message for them?
That if God can do it for me, He can do it for you. That if I can do it, you can do it too. That not to give up on yourself, that anything is possible. Like if anyone out there is doing something, you have the opportunity to do that too. It's coming down to your actions and what you choose to do. Like people are ineffective at actually acting through with the decisions that are going to get them places. Like my biggest bit of advice would be do more, speak less, because it's through the doing that you'll become the new version. It sounds so simple, but just do. Do. It's normally the simple things that work the best. Yeah. Hayley, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you. It's been great.
It's been great. I really loved chatting to you and getting to know you on a more personal level. You know, I've always, you know, I've heard of you and sort of, we spoke about in the media, and to see this side of you and really get to know the things that you've gone through. Like I said to you before, I'm so proud of the woman that you are. Thank you. And all the things that you've gone through. And yeah, I really appreciate it coming on today.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you very much.
I'm like, how do I end it?
That's all right. No, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, lovely.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Mind Your Head. If you'd like to support the show, be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It really supports the show and helps others discover us. Don't forget to join us on Instagram and TikTok at mindyourhead.podcast. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we record this podcast, the Gubbi Gubbi people. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Indigenous peoples. We honour their enduring connection to the land, waters and culture, and recognise their invaluable contributions they make to our communities. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.